I have brain juice that I'm about to start. That's what's going to get me through.
That's what's going to get me through.
We're live. Here we are. There we go. That's
Live
better.
on
Now, why's my Zoom got a thing on it? Oh, that's terrible. Barry, I'm just going to... You're on mute. Is anyone making some noise in the background there?
I'm trying to mute myself.
Yep, that's working. Cool. I'm just going to change your name to Brocan. So, we are live with Dag Dagiel, The Burning Path, episode number 41. We have pretty much everybody today, which is nice. Yeah. So, where did we leave you guys? I recall standing on a wall with Skagan, that guy, Skagaran, the arch war mage of the Dag Dagiel city.
That is what we are currently doing.
That is what you're
Talking to
currently
him.
doing. And who is there right now? Because I'm assuming Sean is not there. At least Alcas. Sean is here.
It's Vera, Lotharian, and Rowan.
Right, and Rowan. So Rokan and Alcas are perhaps off somewhere else doing such and such where they are. Right. Now, I do hear a faint buzz going on in the sound there. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's fuck around and see if we can fix that.
I'm on mute.
No, it's working, Barry. Your thing is working.
Yeah.
So here we are doing sound checks at the beginning of our session, just because, for reasons. There are reasons why. It's got nothing to do with anybody here. No. Okay, the sound thing seems to be better. I don't know if anyone did anything there. Did that? Nobody.
Seems better.
Seems better.
Yeah, I can't hear it now, but
All right.
I haven't touched anything.
Good luck to us. Yippee-ki-yay. Okay, so you are on the wall with Skagaran Baleburn, Arch War Mage of Dag Dagiel. And if you would like to do a quick recap for us, somebody that was there, that basically means Avery. Because I know what Charlie's going to say.
Let me just think.
Yeah.
So, basically, last session, I benched my other character, Ferlt. He has gone off to do things at our fort of Turgile. Set up things farming, set up a lab, various bits and pieces, and I introduced my new character, Lotharion, who is a high elf paladin. Now, we also introduced him, we went around a little bit, we fought some orcs, and that we met Skargaran and had a little discussion with him.
Right. So, in that discussion, what have you learned, discovered, or otherwise achieved?
Honestly, I'm also a bit short on the brain juice tonight, so I'm drawing a little bit of a blank.
Yeah, fair enough.
I believe he really likes Lotharion, even though we kind of snuck him in our group.
Right. Straight.
I had a great chat.
Right.
We were talking about the boat and like how we might take on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, for the sake of brevity and in order to keep our group together and such, let us say that Rokan and Alcas have received this message to come and meet here at the same time with the others. And they, for whatever reason, have been delayed slightly, and thusly they arrive now. So, where you are, Rokan and Alcas, is up on one of the high walls near the keep of Baleburn. So, it's quite a wide, broad parapet, bulwark, if you like, with the big crenellated walls and what have you. You can see down over the city. It's nighttime at this point. You can see two of the moons, the Sanctum and the Gatehouse, sit high on the horizon presently, casting their light down through the mist that has enveloped the city upon this evening. And there is this fellow you've met before, I believe. I'm not sure if Rokan was there or not, but He is
Yeah.
the arch war mage of Dagdagiel, and he has some very
yes.
fancy robes and such. Although his hood is down at the moment, and you can see that he's bearded and he's an older man, but he's very well kept. He has jewelry and rings and such, and he's got a staff with him. And standing back, the location that you're at is between two towers, basically. There's two towers and there's a wall, and you've come out of one tower and found him up at the other end near the other tower. And you've walked down to meet him there. And this is where this conversation has been occurring. So when Alkas and Rokan arrive together, which I hope you guys are all right with, just say yes and nod. That's good. All right, you now have inspiration. You see your companions talking to this fellow, and Skagaran looks up at your companions as they approach. It seems your friends have arrived.
I will wave. So before I forget, Feralt told me to give you these, and I will go into my little bag and pull out some papers that Feralt gave me to give to him.
All right. And what are these papers concerning?
Who the hell knows? It's all Feralt junk. So it's something that the two of them will understand, but it's not something Vespera knows about.
All right.
Just out of game.
Yep.
That was Feralt's notes about the demons we'd encountered.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I watched like a bit of the last session, so I remembered that now. And also, I was wondering if you had any magic that could help us send messages to people over long distances, so we're not sending people to do it and going into harm's way and getting intercepted and all that.
Well, yes, I can offer you such things. I have a few things that I wished to pass to you. My apprentice here, he turns and looks over his shoulder. This is Dagmar Bailburn, my nephew. He is going to assist you with a number of these things. Besides all of the offerings that I can make you, he's also going to lead you through some of what we call the grey roads here, so that you can find your way more quickly and effectively through the city at times. I will offer you pass tokens that will get you past guards, and a set of sending stones, which you can use as you will. Now, in order to get your movement, shall we call it, off the ground, so to speak, Dagmar has been instructed to bring you a chest with 1,000 gold pieces that will begin your operation. Now, of course, I warn you now, these coins are marked. They can be traced. Do not spend them frivolously. Now, also, we can assist you with uniforms and such if you need to impersonate guards. Finally, and most importantly, I offer you my personal ship, the Griffin. It is at a secret dock in a cave, along perhaps a mile and a half from the shore, from the dockyards of Dagdagiel. There is a secret entrance there, and my crew have been given instructions to expect you. You will need these papers. He hands you a scroll case.
Thank you.
Now, in regards to your original question, yes, I have given you sending stones, and they will be of some use. However, I can offer you but 3 scrolls that will allow you to cast the spell of sending. It has a much vaster distance and ability. However, these spells are very expensive, and if you have to use them, then they should be under dire circumstances. Typically, messengers are considerably, on a massive scale, cheaper for messages overall. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Dagmar!
Oh,
Dagmar comes forth from behind him. Bring them the box when they're ready, or otherwise have it delivered to their wherever it is they wish it taken. Do you have some sort of address?
Oh, I look at the others. I don't believe we do anymore. The place that we were staying at, it's compromised.
And what place is that? Well, you need somewhere new. I do not need to know where it was. I see. Well, I will make some provision for you.
I feel that potentially, how secure is this cave where your vessel is moored?
It is very secure, but it is not convenient to the city.
That, while it may be true, would provide more security for a base of operations.
Yes, that could be done, I'm sure. But I say it is secure, but I cannot be always... You must realize there is a crew there, and crews can always be compromised.
Depends how well you trust them, I suppose.
Yes, well, with the Barakyle envoy in the vicinity, one can expect trouble at all times. On the other hand, I can offer you some little-known vaults within the very walls of this city that have not seen the light of day for hundreds of years. They might be useful for a hold-up or a space to store things in the meantime, perhaps even to live for a while, a safe house, such like. Dagmar will show you some of these places, and if you wish to choose one, tell him specifically what you want.
Would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Very well. Dagmar, give them the tokens now and the sending stones. Dagmar takes out a box, and from within that box he removes some sending stones. And in fact, he just gives you the box, come to think of it. But he shows you inside it, lifts up the lid, and you can see there's these metal tokens with holes in them so you can hang them around your neck or wrist or whatever. And they have official seals and stamps on them. Ones that you've not seen before, actually, but maybe you've seen something similar that Drazan might have had at some point. So,
Amazing.
what would you like to do at this point? Will that be all then?
I think that would be all, unless there was any more questions. I look at Algus.
Well, if you
Finger
have
questions.
further questions, ask them now. Otherwise, ask Dagmar while he shows you about.
I have no further questions for this old man. He's just given us a bunch of money that
Compared
we
to the
will
people,
spend responsibly.
compared to the people I know, he's not very old at all. Anyway.
Rowan and Rokan, you standing silently.
Mm-hmm.
Rokan's chewing in meat, I think. I can tell.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
the impression he's
Yeah.
Maybe he shared some.
Rogan got some supplies while he was away.
Right, on the way up the stairs.
Surprise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lotharian is just thinking that this guy got called old while he's probably the oldest one out of the entire bunch.
For sure.
Right, that's probably
Just
true.
like this child is calling another child old.
Right. Okay, so
So funny.
with no further ado, oh, and Sean, was there a link for soundy things?
Yes, it should be in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it as Alcus. Kinda. I'm not very good. So, no, can't do it. My voice is not here.
Where's the background?
So,
sound coming
everyone,
from? Somebody's got
I'm
some,
Alcus. I'm.
somebody's got
I'm a
some
bit tipsy.
background. Somebody's got some background sounds going there. Is that?
Shush.
Where is
Shush,
that?
Rokan. Stop.
My thing keeps going off. My mute keeps going off.
Ah, there you go. That looks good. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Now
Anyway, Sirenscape.
Sirenscape. So we're going to talk about Sirenscape for a minute. Sirenscape will be providing us with our wonderful music this evening, and Sean here is providing it for us, pumping it out, pumping it through, and being our general DJ. So we will thank Sean for that. Once I find Sunfall Company. No, I don't want Sunfall. I want Burning Path.
I could do the advert as Lotharian.
Go on then.
Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to have you here. Currently, we are playing Sirenscape in the background. So I do hope you enjoy it.
All I'm going to say is that was wonderful,
Thank you.
but next week I'm going to have something prepared.
Okay, thank you. I was being Lotharian, not Alcus. If I was Alcus, I'd be like, so
Now we have music.
I'm Alcus, and yeah,
So if
be
you,
playing some Sirenscape, and
All I'm
boy, I
going
feel
to
sick.
say, all I'm going to say is, I go in the bush for a little while and everybody go crazy.
right. Okay, I think we've finally got everything together and we're ready to go. So, Dagmar, then, if there is no further ado, he will take you down into the tunnels inside the wall, which prove to be quite extensive. Some of them seem to be fairly well kept, and you see as you go down, you come out of a doorway and into the hall, into this corridor, and you see a messenger go running past carrying scrolls. And it looks like a very tidy, nicely kept little pathway that goes through this wall. Then he waits for him to go past, basically, and then looks around to make sure no one's looking. And he takes you down some more stairs inside the wall, and into an area where it's a lot more dusty and there's rubble lying around, and you kind of weave through this labyrinth. And as you go, he says, now we've not met before. I am Dagmar, and I am assistant to Lord Skaragin. That guy. Why can't I remember his name?
Skargarin.
Skargarin.
Daddykins.
It's because I came up with a really complicated name as usual. Lord Skargarin, Baleburn. He says, oh Barry, it's off again. Okay, I muted it. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Dagmar was introducing himself.
Right, yes. There was something really specific I was going to say. God damn it. In any case, he takes you down to these spaces below, and he says, that's right. He says, now as you're here, among you, can any of you cast the cantrip of light?
I put my hand up.
So does Lotharian.
Excellent. These places were marked long ago upon the walls. Nothing but this cantrip will show you the marks. They will show you the way.
I'll cast light on. I'll cast it on my totem around my wrist.
Okay. And when you do, the light shines off and it hits the walls, and these kind of almost like fluorescent runic markings appear on the walls. It's kind of like someone drawing signals on the wall that you can only see with a black light.
Oh.
What are you two laughing at?
Sorry.
I know Alex is
He's
thinking.
taking us down into some old tunnels and we're pulling out a black light. I don't want to know.
Right.
Exactly. On a more serious note.
But it is pretty much impossible to see these runes otherwise, it seems. He says it was made with an ancient pigment. We do not have access to it today, so it is in very short supply.
That's amazing.
Would Lotharian recognize the language it's written in?
Yeah, probably. What languages do you speak?
Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Orc.
Yeah, I think it's probably in Elvish.
Okay. In that case, he's going to try and restart reading it.
Right. I mean, they're just like it's really just like arrows and small markers. It's, but occasionally there's a word like this way.
Okay, cool. Just looking for if there's anything interesting there, but it
seems to be very sparsely used because the expense involved in the
No, I get it. I was just making sure there wasn't anything like any secret messages.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, so finally, after following these markers down through the tunnels in the wall, you get to this. There's a couple of old rooms that seem to be abandoned. There's like old pieces of furniture that seem to be like broken and smashed. At some point, somebody might have been using this for either storage or to hide or something like that. But there's a few bits and pieces lying around. There's evidence of people here, but they wouldn't have been here for decades, you would think. You will have seen a lot of rats and spider webs coming through here as well. But nothing dangerous. There are wall sconces and so forth, and there's even evidence of an old faded tapestry hanging on the wall that you can barely kind of make out. You see that there is what looks like an arrow slit in the wall that has been bricked up.
Where is this exactly, Dagmar?
We are perhaps 6 floors from the lower levels in this wall that is perhaps 12 floors high. We are on the inner side of the Baleburn wall.
Amazing.
If you wish to, you could, if you wanted some sunlight occasionally, you could knock out the arrow slit. But beware the ravens, the hawks, the spies of the Barakyle.
I think we can all agree that it's better left sealed.
Perhaps. There are a few other rooms like this not far, a couple that are adjacent. Between them all, there's a complex here, a relatively small complex of perhaps 5 rooms that I think would be useful for you to get started with. I've arranged to have the chest brought here.
Thank you. I have a question. If we want to have guests that we trust, can we bring them in?
I suggest that you do so very carefully and that you bring them through the grey roads. I will show you more grey roads that will lead to the ground, where you can bring them in from below the wall. You should always use that one entrance, I feel. It is attached to the sewers there, so it is fairly clandestine. If you do bring them in, perhaps do not show them all of the rooms or all of your complex. At least for now, until you trust them. And if you have any need to discern between those that you trust and those that you do not, then, well, we have options. We have friends amongst the clergy who can assist us in these matters. And he does turn and look at you, Lotharian, for a moment, and gives you a sort of curious look, like...
He Lotharian just nods.
Yes. So, I hope this will do you well. Your money will be here soon. And the other things that we promised. I will say to you myself, I myself am glad to have you with us. You have done much against the Barakyle. I've seen the masks and artifacts that you have taken from them, and they must have been hard won.
They definitely have been. And they've taken a lot from us.
Yes.
So
That is what they do. They take.
well, let us repay that favor.
Yes. Yes. Good luck. Now, if you need me... You can send a message to House Baleburn. I in fact have some messenger tokens here too, which you could use. It gives you a small bag of messenger tokens that you can take to any of the messenger posts throughout the city.
Thank you.
And this, accompanied with the message, will always reach me. Of course, you should seal the message carefully. Very well. I suppose that will be all.
Thank you kindly. This will do perfectly.
Do you have sleeping arrangements and such? Do you need bedding?
Bedding would be great if you can afford us that, but we're used to sleeping on the ground and everything, so if you can't, we can make do.
I'll see what I can do by tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Before you go, and Lotharian just quietly shows him the signet ring he's wearing and says, "This is how you can recognize a message from me."
A stamp?
In the wax.
I understand, yes. He turns to the rest of you. He looks at you and you, Rokan, and Rowan. And he says, "I thank you all." Looks at Alkas. And he heads off.
I
You hear him
wide-eyedly look at everyone. We have a ship.
We have a lot of things now.
Oh yes.
Sorry, friend, who are you? Are you here to assist us where we need?
Oh right, I am so sorry. I forgot to introduce
Is
you.
he working for the old mage fella?
Bola. This is Lotharian, and he is a friend of the matron, Matron Solaria. Speaking of Matron Solaria, Lotharian, we need to update her on where to find us now.
I believe that would be advisable.
Their last place is compromised beyond repair. That's not happening. Oh, by the way, Lotharian, this is Alkis.
Greetings.
Hi.
You will know him as a cheeky drunkard. And
I
there's-
see.
then
Only
there's-
on my good days.
And what about your bad days?
Don't normally remember them, so it's fine.
I see.
Nothing that a little less restoration won't get rid of. All right. So, and then there's Rokan. He is our food eater.
So
He is the one that eats the food.
we should probably have Avery describe his new character.
Yeah.
Right. So, as I mentioned earlier, he is a high elf paladin. He's currently wearing splint armor, so he's wearing heavy armor. He has a odd two-handed weapon wrapped up on his back. He's got pale, like almost platinum blonde hair, and blue eyes. He's pretty muscular, has visible scars, and yeah, he's just quietly standing with his back against a wall, observing everyone in the room.
The place is a little musty, you notice.
Rogan's looking at him with suspicion.
Lotharian looks at Rokan and says in Orcish, "Well met."
Well met. We will see how well we are met, my friend. Oh.
Rokan.
You want chicken?
What? What? Where
You
do
want
you have
chicken?
chicken?
In pocket.
I thank you, but I have already had several good berries today. I am not currently hungry.
Me understand. Good, very good. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Rokan has killed many Barakyle wizards by shooting them through the head with an arrow. It's beautiful.
That is an impressive feat. Tell me, have you killed many of their fiends?
We have.
That is good to know. I am somewhat opposed to extraplanar incursions, if you take my meaning.
Me too. Whatever that mean, me too. Me too. Elkas,
Yes, my friend.
what incursion mean?
I think it means fight.
What's extra planar?
That's a special type of beverage, I believe.
Oh, right. Okay. I get it now. You and Elkas have a lot in common.
Is no one here familiar with extraplanar planar cosmology? The outer planes.
Good cocktail, right?
Okay. I take it you are at least aware of the Feywild and the Shadowfell.
Well, we're
Me heard
familiar
of
with
Shadowfell.
we're familiar with the Shadowfell, being that we've been there before.
Yep. Yep.
And his eyes just widen at that, and he just stares at Vespera. You've been to the Shadowfell.
Yeah, we've been to Shadowfell.
Yes, it was so funny. Except it
How?
wasn't funny.
How did you reach the Shadowfell?
Well, like everyone else, I suppose. Through
By dying?
through a portal in the world?
There's a
That was-
Shadowfell portal in the city.
Not in the city. On the out.
No, long way from here.
Yeah.
I
About
see.
maybe 2 days.
I should like to ask you more questions about this at a later time.
Sure, whatever you want. Oh, if you were to go there, though, it has this weird sensation where you either feel incredibly depressed, or what was the other one? It was depressed and
Scared.
oh, right, scared.
Homicidal? No. That's just
No,
normal.
no, more like you wanted to end it all because you didn't believe that you could do
That's the one.
anything. Right. Yes. Rowan, do you have any expertise when it comes to outer planar stuff?
Besides what we saw in the cave, it's never been relevant.
Right.
So,
Most of the problems I deal with are material.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as you are talking and what have you, you hear the sounds of sounds like footsteps, mumbling, heaving. Coming from up the stairs and around the corner.
allow me to investigate that.
Alright, so you're going to head around and have a look?
Yes.
Okay, well, you come across these two fellows in black Hessian robes with fairly nice clothes on underneath those, but still they look like the clothes of tradesmen or merchants or assistants or something like that. They're not nobles. And they look up at you, and they're between them carrying this fucking great big chest.
Okay.
One looks up at you. Ah, you must be who we're here to see. I'm Stannis. Stannis Baleburn.
Greetings, my name is Lotharion.
Nice to meet you, Lotharion. I'd take your hand, but this is a bit heavy. Don't suppose you give us a hand with it.
I would be honored to. How much does the chest weigh?
Fuckloads.
Like, how much is
A
fuckloads?
fuck ton.
Okay, because I can push, drag, or lift 480 pounds.
I don't know. That sounds like a lot.
It's like 200 something kilos.
Right. Certainly would help.
Yeah, so I just gestured to them to take one end of of it between them and just lift the other end.
Okay, very good. So between you, you move the chest down the stairs and around. And these two fellows come into the room where the rest of you are. Right, now, there's a key for this in my pocket. Give me a second here. Just a moment. Here it is. Who wants this?
I'll take that.
Right, very good.
Thank you.
There was something else. Something about bedding and, there was another thing too. Oh yeah, they told us we're going to install some doors around here. Is that what you need?
That would be appreciated.
Right. I figured that would be a smart thing. Now, if there's anything else that you might need, just tell me now, because I'll be off in a moment. Oh, and by the way, this here is Blasius, also Baleburn. And Blasius nods at you.
Greetings.
Nice to meet you.
Perhaps a table and chairs if there are some to be spared.
Right, a bit of furniture, yeah. You'll probably find some old furniture in here somewhere, but might be broken or, I understand. I'll get you something new. Yeah. Something to sit on, yeah. You probably need some refreshments too down here. It's a bit dingy, isn't it? Oh, what did you lot do to get this? I mean, you, some sort of trouble? No, you don't have to answer that. Don't worry about me. Alright, well, anything else you might want?
Ooh, if you could find a picture of, like, a tree or something.
Right. It must be, yeah, I see. Alright.
Or, well, Alcus really likes boats, so maybe some boats?
Well, I was going to say if you could find a map of the city.
Right, yes, I could do that. Yeah, I'll ask about that. Map of the city. Right.
Maybe some small, some of the surrounding area as well.
I'll do that. I'll find what I can. I'll talk to the chief about that and see what he says.
Oh, before you go.
Oh yeah.
Here.
What's that?
I will give him a good berry, and I'll give his friend a good berry.
Oh, what's this for?
Thank you. I'll eat it. You'll like it.
Oh my! Oh, that's very good. Well, very good indeed. And that's just a berry.
I know.
Quite a good berry, that.
Yes, these guys complain all the time, but I'm glad that you can appreciate it.
Oh well, thank you very much.
Me appreciate it all the time.
Just remember, I'm Stannis. That's Blasius. Stannis and Blasius Baleburn.
Stannis and Blasius.
Yeah, we're here to help.
Thank you.
Right. And if you want to, either of us or even both of us could hang about in case you need to fetch anything, in the future after we come back with the other stuff that we're going to bring you later. Right.
All right.
Very well. See you later. Have a good night.
Bye.
He heads off.
Good night.
They trudge off back up the stairs.
So, I want to make sure the matron knows that we're here. I think to me that's a pretty big priority, just in case she absolutely needs us. Maybe we could give her one of the sending stones.
What matron?
Oh, Matron Solaria was a lovely cleric that had visited. Well, she was the one that came through the town when I resurrected that boy in the middle of the marketplace.
Okay.
Yes.
A minute later, Blasius comes back in again. The other guy hasn't said anything at this point, but he gets to the entranceway and he sort of taps the wall. Excuse me. There was something else. Stannis forgot this. We've got these things here. This bag. Open it carefully, and inside is some apparently some figurines. You put them in the corners of your room, and it helps. I don't know. Here.
I'll take it from him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're supposed to rub some oil on them.
Is the oil included?
I think so. I haven't looked. Just telling you
Alright.
what I remember.
I will hand these over to Rowan,
Why are you handing these to me?
because I believe that you could do with the job to do, I suppose. I
Okay.
believe in you. I will guide him. I guide you. I believe in you.
Thanks. I guess.
Right, so
Delegation.
you're back by yourselves one more time. And now you have a bag of things, and a chest, and a key.
I take the key.
Right.
I open the chest.
You open the chest, and you are confronted by a huge stack of gold pieces. There's 1,000 gold pieces in this chest. That's a lot of gold. There's also 3 scrolls, and 10 potions of greater healing.
Wow, okay. Well, I always have healing on me, so why don't you take some of these greater healing potions, everyone?
So note that you have 1 pair of sending stones. You've got a bag of messenger tokens. You've got 1,000 gold pieces, and you've got pass tokens, which are different to the messenger tokens. Of the pass tokens, there are 10 of those. And you shouldn't need to... They're not consumables or anything like that, but so you could give one to up to 10 people.
Okay.
Presumably. So you kind of have the impression not to use them too, indiscreetly.
Okay, and we'll take 2 potions of greater healing. Yep.
So will Alcas. However, I'm interested in this bag of figurines.
Okay.
Yeah, Lotharian's also curious about that.
Alright. So you open up the bag of figurines, is that correct? Inside the bag there are figurines of a lion, a bull, an eagle, and a little man. They're all very primitive looking, stylized. They have arcanic symbols around the bases on them, engraved with filigree shapes and geometric designs. And there is a small little pottle with a lid.
Rub oil on these.
So he said put them around the room. Does he mean around
In the corners.
this room specifically? All of the rooms?
I believe it'll be like, I believe it'll be 1 room.
So this room.
Well, whatever. I don't know what its intention is, but
Who here has Arcana as a proficiency? Okay, Lotharian.
not me.
Yeah. Lotharian, do you want to make an Arcana check? If you are in fact investigating these things.
Yeah, he would be. I was about to mention it.
I mean, it sounds like there could possibly be like a druidic equivalent of some sort. Like I know what these do. But,
Can't tell.
You can't tell. Okay.
Not unless the DC is less than 8.
No, sorry. Do you want to make
Well-
a check? Anybody can make a check, but you know.
oh yeah, sure.
Now, the combination of animals and a humanoid,
Yeah.
do I recognize any like historical significance from that?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
So Vespera got a 7, even less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rowan got a
Is it-
16.
Roll
As
Is
a
there-
rain. Oh,
Okay, so
as a ranger, do I recognize any?
no, I'm afraid not.
No?
Rowan, with your 16, you are aware that within the organization for which you work, you've seen something like this before. And indeed, you do place them in the corners of a single room. When you saw them, they were on little shelves up on the corners of the roof, near the roof. Inconspicuously kind of just placed in little corner shelves, all level with each other, but they have to be placed in certain corners because these things represent, you're not sure what. You actually, you rolled, what did you roll, a 16, 17 on your Arcana?
17 minus 1 to 16.
16, okay. You believe that the lion represents fire, the eagle is air, the bull is earth, and the man is water. And these things relate to the 4 directions too.
Yeah, I'll pass this information along to my naturey friend of Vespera. And do you know how to set these up now? Which directions relate to which element?
I do not have Druidcraft, which I imagine is what I would have needed to tell.
Druidcraft.
Look, yeah, Druidcraft has different types of abilities, such as being able to tell the weather in a certain location, or what the weather would be like over the next something amount of days. So I imagine it would be able to point out directions, or
Right.
something. But
Well, I think that it's fair to say that as a druid, you know that north is associated with earth, south is associated with fire, west is associated with water, and east is associated with air.
I'd probably more likely know about the way of the fire, seeing as there's probably a volcano, our volcano there, in the south.
Up to you, whatever you want to do.
All right. Well, yeah, I will say that.
Okay.
Yes. So, I believe these little statuettes are going to have to go in the corners of this room, in the way that I've just said.
Yes, exactly the way you just said.
Yes, exactly. So now we need to figure out, because I can't tell. It's I can't tell the direction. Does anyone else here have a way that they can do that?
I'll look at the arrow slit and see which way the sun is.
All right. Well, the arrow
It's-
slit's bricked up. Right.
Ah.
now.
Bricked up, yeah.
But let's see if Rokan has a class feature as a ranger. Hunter's sense. Nope. I guess you're not the right kind of ranger.
For some reason, all I can think about is that Rokan is a car. Okay, a
Car?
Ford Ranger or something. Whatever it is. A park ranger.
Class features. Deft explorer. Okay, you are unsurpassed explorer and survivor both in the wilderness and dealing with others on your travels. Your walking speed is increased. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Proficiencies. Special. Primal awareness. Hunter's sense. No.
Is there any way of being able to make a compass? I know it's a bit weird, but
Not in the
I just want
traditional
to know.
Compasses per se don't exist in the way that, you know, they're not. We don't have like spinny compasses. You can navigate by the stars.
Oh, there are no stars in here.
No.
Maybe we should just set them up
You can make a.
and see if anything works.
Anyone that wants to make a survival check can make a survival check to take a guess at the directions.
Sure. Let's go.
Have I got a reasonably high survival?
You do. You got plus
Oh.
4 in your survival, Rokan. So Alkas got a 17. Rokan got a flaccid 20.
I cannot figure this out.
So yeah. All right. So Rokan and who else was it?
Alkas.
You guys both kind of agree that this direction is probably east, and that tells you where the rest of the directions are, obviously.
Yeah, I put them up. Okay. You agree this one, Algas?
Yes, I have a feeling that this way is east-ish.
Okay.
Ish. Maybe not perfectly, but
Yep.
if we just try calling that corner east and set these up, as you say,
Yep.
and as the strange fellow said, rubbing some oil on them,
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is going to do, but what do we have to lose?
Okay. Rokan gets to work on putting them up once Alkas puts the oil on them.
Okay. So Alkas, you're putting the oil on them, are you?
By the sounds of it, yes.
All
I
right.
think I'll give them a hand as well. But I want to be the one to look after the little lion.
All right. Well, Alkas, you can make an Arcana check with assistance.
Yeah.
So thusly with advantage.
I'm going down.
I should not be the one doing this, but okay.
Yeah.
16?
Very good. Okay. Cool. Nothing happens, but you do the thing, and you don't spill oil all over the place, and that's good.
This oil, is it just oil?
I don't know. Drink it and find out.
I sniff it.
Okay. Well, you can make an Arcana check if you sniff it.
All right. Nope. Smells like cooking oil.
No, it
believe-
doesn't smell like cooking oil. It smells quite scented and full of herbs and stuff.
I rolled a natural 1,
Right.
so I can't smell that.
Right.
Everything
Can
else is too
I-
musty.
Can I have a look at the oil?
Sure you can.
Arcana?
Yeah.
That's better. 22.
It reminds you of the holy oils that are used in the temples in Hemoth Tirith, that the priests and priestesses are anointed with.
I'm gonna wipe my hands on Alkas.
Oh, come on, I don't need to smell like this.
I believe this
Oh
oil.
boy, you do. You know, you do. You really do.
Yeah, Lotharian does not contradict that last statement in any way. And just after they're done, he says, I believe this may be holy oil of some sort. The smell is definitely familiar.
Oops. Ooh.
Well, okay, let's get these statues set up.
Agreed.
As they're doing that, I'm going to spend 10 minutes to ritually cast. Wait, can I even ritually cast things? I have not been paying attention. Well, I would like to use detect magic anyway. Oh, it says I can. Okay, cool.
All right, so you're going to use detect magic. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well, first of all,
it's my clericness.
the oil lights up, the figurines light up, and oddly enough, the coins light up.
I look at firstly look at the statues, and that's cool. And the oil is great. That's what I expected, but the coins seem so weird. So I start picking them up.
So when you want to make an investigation check on the coins, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
18.
So you notice that the coins have little dots on them of where the magic is coming from. Each of them has like 3 dots around the corners, around the edges of the rim of the coins.
They did say they were marked, but what did that mean? I go over to... You know what? Rowan doesn't look like he's doing anything. Owen, do you know much about magic?
I know certain magics, not magic. Why?
Well, these are pinging as magic. I can see the magic in them.
I'll pluck one out of Vespera's hand. And do these look like anything Rowan's organization would use to track people?
You've not seen this particular thing before. I mean, they're just coins from me because you don't have the detect magic going, so you can't see the glow. But there's just Vespera. You can see this faint, sort of slightly blue glow coming from points around the edges of the coins.
It's a bluish glow, like coming from here and here.
Sorry, it might be best to ask our friend Lotharian over there. My grasp of magic is not studied.
I see. Lotharian, do you know what this could be?
A moment, and I cast Detect Magic as well, but I don't have ritual casting, so I just burn a spell slot.
Okay, so now you can see the blue dots.
And while I have it up, I surreptitiously look around at everybody else to see if anything else lights up.
Well,
And you don't need to describe it. I've got a good idea.
Right.
But and so I will examine the coin.
Can I sleight of hand or deception or something to hide the moonblade from him?
Sure. I mean,
because I didn't say it earlier, but I was going to be wary of him because I've been told that this is a thing to keep hidden, and random new high elf turns up.
Right, and right, okay, cool. Yeah, well, deception or sleight of hand? Probably sleight of hand.
That's perfect for me, but that is a nat 1.
Do I notice what he's doing?
I think that you notice that his weapon is indeed magical, and as a you can.
It would have been like
make
tucked up behind my back or something, but maybe when I was like putting the statues down or doing something on the oil, you could see.
Popped out. Do you want to make a perception check for us, Lotharian?
Okay. That's a bit better. That's a 21.
Okay, well, it's a moonblade.
He makes a note of that. Elkus obviously isn't comfortable with him, so he's not going to draw attention to it.
Right. Fair enough.
So, what have you found, Lotharian?
Right, so, what can I tell about the coins? Like, what's the school of magic, for a start?
The school of magic. Hold on a second.
Would it be maybe enchantment?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I'm guessing that's probably what it is.
Okay. And I guess just investigation or arcana?
I think it's clear to you that this is the tracking software.
Yeah. It does appear to be some form of enchantment magic. I don't know the specifics of it. Perhaps if you knew someone who knew the spell to identify magical items, they could tell you more about it. Unfortunately, that is not a divine magic.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about it either, so the one person who I would trust to do that is no longer with us. And he's not dead, but he's
Oh.
so don't worry. He's just
I'll tell you.
he walked away.
Who got the so did you make an investigation check on the coins yourself, Lotharion?
No, not yet. I asked if I should, and you didn't
Yeah,
answer.
give me an investigation check too.
Okay, let's have a look. See how I roll for this. 12.
You've once upon a time, at some point, you've seen, in the draconic script, you've seen these little dots before.
I believe this may be something to do with Draconic. However, that is not a language I'm familiar with.
Draconic. Does anyone? How do people speak like dragons? I don't understand.
Well, I certainly understand that dragons would speak like dragons. And obviously he knows that a dragon has been sighted over the city.
True that.
There has been a dragon sighted over the city recently. Perhaps if we had some way of getting in contact with them.
Well, that involves a very long walk.
I mean,
believe.
You also know that there are scholars and what have you that have studied Draconic.
Yeah, but it's just like, at the mention of a long walk, he just looks kind of confused and curious. What do you mean, a long walk?
Maybe I said too much.
Very well, I suppose that it will take me time to earn your trust. I pray that you give me the opportunity.
Of course, of course.
So, we're trying to figure out what magic this is to track these coins, right?
No, well, I was curious about why the coin's even glowing in the first place. My other coins don't glow.
We were told that these coins were tracked.
Oh, they were marked, I believe.
Or marked, sorry, but...
That's what I believe, but...
But it seems to me that the War Mage, or whatever silly title he gives himself, has simply done some magic on them. He's given them to us. I don't see why we shouldn't just spend it how we see fit.
I do really want to purchase more diamonds, but...
if you really want unmarked coins, I can always borrow these and go and replace them.
Let's not do that. Seeing it, the Sparrow knows Elkis well enough to think it's a bad idea. I think we'll be okay.
So this fellow that gave us all of this stuff, he has a similar distaste for these red wizards.
This is the guy you met in the bell tower that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sent us to do what exactly? There was just out of game, my brain is fried, and I know I'm mixing both campaigns at the moment. So I'm just trying to get everything in line about which one is this. This one was the one where there was a ship of some kind.
Yeah.
That he wanted us to intercept, destroy, or something.
Sink, I think.
Yeah.
There is a mage on that ship called Sandal Leitzheimer.
Yes, that's here in my notes.
So, about that, we either need to go find them, which we now have a ship to do, and board their ship, or sink it or board their ship and kill everyone on it. Which sounds incredibly difficult. Either way.
Means I have to get special arrows.
Perhaps a ballista.
The one issue I have is that wizards are crafty and they will have the ability to leave. There will always be an exit strategy with them. So we need to find a way to prevent them from being able to use their exit strategy, no matter what it is.
So, sinking the ship, was there any other specific tasks he gave us, or was it more just mess with the damn wizards?
Again, Ross.
I'm sorry, are you asking me a question?
Was there more to that?
Okay, so sinking the ship, basically. This guy was going to turn up with an envoy from Barakyle, and apparently they had an invitation to see the Empress of Doors, which your now patron does not want to see happen because he suspects that they will put in the final linchpin that will eventually take control of the city through the Empress.
Okay.
So he didn't really define what it was he wanted you to do besides make sure this dude doesn't turn up.
Which is what, like, intercepting these things is our main goal.
Yeah, essentially intercepting them and stopping them, and what you do with them is up to you.
Well, in my experience, a full frontal attack on a ship often is a gamble that you don't get taken out yourself. However, a more stealth mission where you sabotage said ship to not necessarily destroy, but stop it arriving on time can often be just as effective.
I think what we have to do is we have to bring it down.
Me thinks he no want him to get anywhere near here.
There might be something inside that boat as well that they're trying to deliver. I don't know what it is, but it needs to come down.
But that's what I mean.
We can definitely do that to find out what they are doing.
But what I mean is an ambush on the ship where we set fire to their sails, leaving them adrift in the middle of the ocean, and leave the elements to do the rest.
Problem is their mage. And simply push the waters to move the boat.
That would take a lot of effort for one person, though.
We do not know it's just one person.
That is true.
I think we need to remain there to make sure it gets sunk.
A Barakyle wizard of that standing would likely be traveling with at least apprentices. They would
Very
not...
true. I'm just coming up with ideas around.
I do not dispute that. I am simply adding my piece to the conversation.
Yes. Just sinking an entire ship does sound like a task that is very difficult, especially if we are having to get through all of these wizards on board.
I can allow everyone the ability to... Well, I believe it's everyone. I'm going to have to double check this. I can allow everyone, now that I know, the ability to breathe underwater, if that helps.
The problem is, it would be difficult to intercept the ship in the middle of the ocean. I do not believe we wish to allow it to dock.
How big is the ship we've been lent? And how much crew does it have?
That also bears investigating.
Well, I know it might be the harder option, but I do think we need to do this outside of port, like in the middle of the ocean, where they can't get to shore.
That is definitely the best option.
If only I had my druid branch here, they could help me. They're stronger than I am.
Are we not good enough for you?
No, well, you all are, but they have capabilities beyond me, and they can do a lot with the weather to really screw over a ship. I can also, I mean, well, you've seen it before. I can create lightning and cause a great deal of havoc on that ship.
Well, if we keep our own ship at a distance and wait for nightfall, we could take a rowboat under the cover of dark, and between our magics, I'm sure we can ensure a relatively silent arrival.
Oh, also, I can turn into swimming animals. So, like, the more I...
How big of a swimming animal?
Well, I have to see something big in order to become something big. I'm hoping that if we do go on this expedition, if we go to the ocean, I'll find maybe like a dolphin or something. I've heard they exist. I've heard of these brilliant animals that have rows and rows and rows of teeth. They can gobble up any old sailor that falls into the...
A shark?
Yes,
a
shark.
Yes, a shark, I believe.
Yes. Cowards.
I could turn it to a coward? Is that the type of shark it is?
No, sharks, they're just very skittish animals. Get a lot of bad rap.
If you could turn into one big enough and we can all breathe underwater, perhaps you can simply swim us to the ship as one of these animals.
I potentially could.
Perhaps a whale.
What on earth is a whale?
It
a
is
big
like
fish.
A big fish.
They are not fish. I believe they are more closely related to what you referred to as dolphins, but much larger.
Could you fit in my mouth?
I do not believe that would be advisable.
That's true. I wouldn't want to put Alkis in my mouth. Or maybe I wouldn't want to put Rokan in my mouth neither.
This all sounds very wrong.
Nom.
Well, no plan survives the initial planning stages, so we might as well try and hope for the best.
You hear knocking sounds and footsteps and people coming again. It sounds like the same two that came before. Stannis and Blasius arrive carrying some furniture and some bedding and a few pieces of stuff that you might need in the near future, a bag of food.
Oh, come on in, everyone. Thank you.
Wineskins. They drop the wineskins there. Hey, so we're going to do about keeping you lot warm down here. It's going to be freaking cold in the night.
I hold my hands out and produce flame.
Oh. Didn't know you could do that. Okay, that does change things. Well, just beware, there's nowhere for the smoke to go, so I don't want you to get, smoked out or nothing. I think in the far room on the other side of this little complex, have you been around here yet? There is a hole in the wall that would probably let the smoke out if you wanted to start a fire for cooking or whatever, heat, etc.
That sounds very good. If you'll show me, I'll follow you.
Come and have a look.
I will accompany you.
Very good. So they take you through to this other space. It's actually a bit bigger than this space, but it's more run down. There's more rubble lying around and sections of a pillar that have collapsed. You should get that fixed, shouldn't we? You don't want the place tumbling down on you. That wouldn't be good, would it? No. So, yeah, you see there's a bit of a hole up there in the wall. I think you could probably, hopefully that'll let the smoke out. Bit less
I think that would be
musty in here,
perfect.
though, but it's cold and you do get a breeze, so, yeah. We did hold up in here once. There was a time when we needed to keep some supplies quiet for a while, and we, hid them all down here for some time, a couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's kind of like a safe house. Was there anything else I need to get you lot?
No, I believe we're fine. I'm sure Rogan would suggest more food, but you've given us a lot.
Well, yeah, it's all right.
So thank you.
Okay.
When you're
That
ready,
and he's got pocket chicken as well, so it's fine.
Now, if you come around this way, and he takes you around another couple of corridors, and there are indeed 3 other small kind of chambers that are essentially just empty stone chambers with nothing really in them. This one here's got a bit of a pit in it, so if you need to use the it can go straight down there. That falls all the way down to the sewers. I mean, if necessary, you could even use that as an escape route, but it's not very nice. And around here, he says, gesturing, there is some stairs, and these will lead you all the way down to a door at the base of the wall. It's been locked for quite a while, and I have here a key. Now, this here is a skeleton key. It will open most of the doors in this vicinity related to House Baleburn. I mean, it won't get you into the keep or nothing like that, but any of these sorts of doors, it will open. I haven't tested them all, and it's a bit rusty, so I'll give that to you too.
Thank you. I'll put that on the keychain that I'm amassing from this place. Thank you.
Of course. Now, I've been told to bring down some uniforms. Apparently you need some uniforms, and we've got a small supply of weapons and armor as well. So I can probably hook you up with a few extra things as well if you need them. So we'll just bring them down, and you can ignore us. We'll just come through every now and again and bring stuff down for you. So come and go as you please, just don't worry about us. And they head off again.
All right. Yeah,
Ask
another
question.
key.
Me ask question. How long we got to do this? When boat come?
Couple of days, wasn't it?
So we're probably going to have to take action tomorrow.
It's expected
What kind
to
of
arrive
boat?
within 3 days.
What kind of boat?
I don't know much about boats, sorry, but what, the boat that we have access to, or the one we're trying to sink?
The one we're trying to sink.
Was there anything mentioned? Because Alcas has a background as a sailor.
He does,
Yeah.
he does. Now, if you give me a minute, I'm just going to have a quick look at... I think it's like a trimaran, like a what do you call it? Basically oars and a sail. So banks of oars and a sail, kind of like a galley, like a Roman galley kind of thing, or a Greek.
Got it.
So people are being the ones that are rowing.
Yeah, so you would expect to see slaves rowing, you would expect to see somebody banging a drum at one end. You would expect there to be a mast and a big square sail.
Right, right. Okay, it's a lot of innocence.
Well, perhaps we don't sink the boat, simply remove the wizards.
But then witnesses become an issue.
We can also just sink the boat and kill them all. I don't have an opinion.
What? I think now. All right. So boat gonna be like that. Okay. What direction boat coming?
Well, you know that it's coming from Barakyle, so it will be heading north from south.
Okay. I've really got the wrong character for this. Okay. I know one character that could fit well. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. Alright. So, it come that way from Barakyle. Okay, row. What our boat like?
We don't know that yet. We're going to go find out tomorrow.
We better go and find out soon.
Is it late?
At this time, yeah, it's getting close to midnight.
All right. Well, tomorrow the first thing that we do, no, the second thing, we need to eat food, don't we, Rokan? Is that we're going to go and we're going to find out what we've got to use, what this boat is like. But for now, we should come up with a plan. Yes.
That's what me doing. Me come up with a plan.
I think it is probably a good idea to go out as far as we can with the boat, and distance ourselves once we spot it. Well, the thing is, if we're close enough to spot it, they're also close enough to spot us. Do we have any way of scouting ahead? Do we have any animals like Feralthead Stolas, the owl? Do we have any of those? Theo doesn't go anywhere near as far as that.
I must say, I am most curious about this departed companion of yours.
You'll meet him one day.
I see.
And then you could have a lovely conversation.
Him brains. Now. What say we go out to sea and we look like a ship in what they call it, distress. And if they come to help us, then some of us go underwater, and while they're helping us, attack boat from underneath.
That could work. It would potentially put the boat that we'll be on and the people that are working with us in danger, but it's not a bad idea.
There is no perfect plan in this. Either their slaves die, our people die, we die, they die, everybody dies.
What he said, pretty true.
Well, I don't want us to die. I don't have enough diamonds for that. Okay.
I might also add that if we pull up alongside their ship, we may be able to rescue some of the people who might be on board less than willingly.
I like this idea. Good job, Rokan.
I do like the idea of playing a ship in distress. We just need to... The ocean is a big place, and we need to figure out how we can ensure that we're on their path.
Such records would probably be kept at a dockmaster's office or some such. I can, or another can probably break into there and steal that information, or bribe the dockmaster for it. It should not be too hard to obtain. It's hardly diamonds.
If you do find diamonds, let me know. I need to get some party diamonds. I have some, but that's my own reserves.
Party diamonds.
I need party diamonds.
Talking about a drug.
Sound good to me.
I suppose. Kind
Now-
of like a drug.
Now, I'm unsure about sidereal law around sailing.
Right.
However, I know that there are international laws where if a ship is essentially flying certain flags of distress, you are legally obligated to go and help, just like Mayday calls in real life.
Right. So, as a sailor background character, it makes sense that you would know these, yeah?
Yes.
So, you are aware that Barakyle and every city where they have an embassy, so including Dagdagiel, there is some sort of treaty arrangement, a maritime treaty like that.
So, us playing a vessel in distress, if we fly certain flags, they will be obligated to come and help us, and that will get us close to them at least.
We also need to make it look like we're in distress. So if there was a way that we could provide smoke to make it look like we're on fire without being on fire, would
Or
also
simply
help.
break the mast so we don't potentially burn our boat down.
Oh, well, I
Break the
think
mast?
simply taking a spare sail and ripping a huge hole in it.
That would also work.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want to damage our ship too much. And simply hoisting a new sail to get us out of there would be fairly simple.
True. I love this plan. This is a great plan.
Well thought out.
So, if we rest for tonight and then tomorrow morning we go and investigate our ship that we have been given to borrow for this, and swing by the dockmasters to see if they have any information on when this Barakyle ship comes in, how often it comes in, and any information regarding recent weather patterns that might have thrown it off course.
We could. I believe I could simply break in tonight and quickly steal that information, but if we do plan on interrogating this man further, probably best someone else does that.
So I'm just going to go and paddle my nose for a minute. I'll just be straight back.
Okay, let's talk about how to break the plot.
Okay.
Yes, well, I think
Anyway, it was what he was. That's the powder.
Oh, that's the diamonds. It's party diamonds. He's gonna go
Yeah.
use.
Fine diamonds.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Everyone's doing party diamonds.
I think I don't know whether we necessarily need to break in to get this information. I think
I was just thinking that for like the sake of getting it done quick, so we don't have to spend time role playing all this.
Well, it's also
But
the
if
thing
you want
is,
to role play it, it's perfectly fine. I don't mind.
it's also quite late at night, and if he breaks in, we don't have to wait until the morning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just very quick and easy way to do it, unless we've got like specific questions for the dockmaster.
that was my thing, is not everything is kept in records necessarily.
Alcus can break in too.
I can bring like 2 or 3 people along with me, no problem. If the dockmaster lives there, we can always just tie him to the bed and like splash water in his face and do a whole interrogation.
My whole thing is part of my background is a sailor out of Dagdagiel, so I have to confirm with Russell, but probably know the guy a little bit. But if you want to break in, feel free to break in. Happy.
What was the feature for your thingy?
It
It's
is
like you get like free sailing or something,
yeah,
right?
so I'm a sailor background, and so I have ship's passage. When I need to, I can secure free passage on sailing ships for myself and my party. I might sail on a ship that I either served on or have a good relationship with the captain. And basically, I can't choose the schedule for the ship, but basically free passage.
Yeah. Okay, so not really helpful, but you probably do know the people.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I figure that probably extends to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so you guys were talking about the potential of getting it done today. Alcus is like, might know the dude.
I mean, what if we promise? Well, what if Rowan promises not to leave any lasting marks?
Yes, certainly.
If we can't find the information in the drawer somewhere. What?
Yes.
Yeah, lead on.
Oh, are we going to wait for Mr. Rokan to return? Or is he already back and I just can't see?
He's not. I
Okay.
don't believe he is. Are you going to go on your own?
I can bring 2 others, perhaps. Anyone that's versed in being slightly sneaky and doesn't mind staying up a little longer.
There he is.
I can definitely show you around, and show you where the information might be, and probably talk our way out of any situation, any sticky situation we end up in.
Sounds good to me.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Barry.
To be fair, I know it's late, but I do want to go see the matron. So maybe Lotharian and I could go see the matron, and you 3 can go get that done. And then we can rest up.
I believe that would be advisable.
Get all the small things we need done today so we can set off sail tomorrow.
Exactly. Is that okay with you, Rokan? Go with them?
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Okay.
All right. So what's going
Rokan
on?
gets to go be sneaky.
We're kind of splitting the group, and I'm apologetic about it.
Okay. Well,
So basically, you got the sneaky group and the holy group.
right, the sneaky group and the sneaky group. Okay, fair enough. That's a good breakdown.
Yeah.
Sean, how's Alcas on the sneaky group and not the holy group?
Because he's got to lie his way out, and also we're sneaking into the docks, and he's got the sailor background.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
How would Elkus be in the holy group?
I know. I was just being facetious.
Why not?
Why
Because
not?
he drinks holy water.
Lotharian does have a flask of holy water on him if you're thirsty, but that shit's expensive.
He's got holy oil on his fingers.
Oh,
To be honest, I could probably cast ceremony, seeing as I'm a cleric. So if you guys
could
had
marry
25 gold,
Rokan and Alcas.
I can marry every one of us.
Right, you can all be married.
That's
Fantastic.
2 AC for 7 days.
Right.
So
Pretty sure Lotharian would object to that.
this Pharaoh would too.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
Okay. Why don't we let them go first?
Yeah, let them do the sneaky fun shit.
Yeah.
Sneaky fun.
We do the boring
Alright.
going to check on our darling Solaria.
Alright, fair enough. So, Alcas, Rowan, and Rokan. You are going to head out from the main front gates of Dagdagyel. So you go out of the grey roads out into the ground floor and come out into the city, and you head through the city. I will get stealth checks, assuming that you're being stealthy as you go through the city.
yes, I would have cast Pass Without a Trace on us, so everyone gets +10.
What do you have with you? I would like a detailed description of what you're bringing for this mission.
Just individually, or?
Well, let's start with Rowan, seeing as you're talking. What are you going to bring with you?
Well, all of his basic gear, so his ring, his dagger, his armor, his thieves' tools.
Yep.
He'll also bring along his rope. Just like 10 gold pieces in case we do need to bribe our way out.
Okay.
Or just need to spend stuff, and his magic, I guess.
Okay, so magical components and so on. Alkas?
Basically what he's carrying, so Moonblade shield, he's got his unarmored defense, so just his clothes, but also the ring of mind shielding that is currently invisible.
Okay.
And on his way out, he is going to attempt to sneakily, not so sneakily, but more sleight of hand, pick up a handful of the marked gold and do a little trick in his hand type thing, and then pick up 5 pieces but only drop 4.
Okay. All right. So nobody is accounting for this gold at this point.
I don't know, but
I think it would be a little bit difficult given the sheer number of them.
Right, but you can count how many pieces you've taken out.
Right, but it's just like actually counting out 1,000 pieces of gold would take a while.
Yeah, that is true. I just wondered if anyone was going to count how many pieces had been taken or removed from the chest.
Okay. I don't believe anybody is that OCD about it at this stage.
Okay, fair enough.
Geralt's not here.
All right. Yeah, and I guess who was here when Alexander got audited that time?
Pretty sure I would have been Rokan, Alkas,
Right.
at least.
Okay. Right then, you've been fairly warned, I feel. Okay, is there anything else that you want to take? Rokan, anything you want to take specifically?
I'll just take my my usual stuff, the bow, the axes, the
Yep.
usual equipment I normally take.
Okay.
And I'll be looking out for the eagle, but I'll make sure that I'm dressed like a what do you call them again? Like a orc.
Mercenary?
The Morg
Yeah,
Van Shu?
mercenary. Yeah,
So you dress in the style of the Morg Van Shu mercenary company,
yeah.
essentially.
Morg Van Chu sounds like it should be a brand of chewing gum. Don't drop a fridge on me.
Vespera
No.
sounds like it should be chewing gum.
I wish it was.
Okay, so very good. You leave and you're on your way to the gates, and you can make investigation checks each as you're traveling. Rokan, I will roll your investigation check for you.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
17.
17 also for Rokan. Okay, well at that point, at some point along the way, I don't know whether you guys didn't think about this or whether you did think about it and decided you didn't want to, but it does occur to you that you have special guard pass tokens that have been given to you. And... Nope, don't care. Okay.
They like being sneaky.
We're sneaky fellas. We want to utilize being sneaky.
Okay, that's fine.
I was under the assumption that we're going into this as covert as possible, and we don't want to be walking up going, we have a pass to come in here.
Right. But,
Yeah.
No, okay. Fair enough. So you go out through the main gates, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did I get stealth checks from you guys?
No, I haven't rolled it yet, at least.
But you are being stealthy as you go through the city.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Rokan, that is 17.
I would have cast Pass without a trace, so everyone's got a plus 10, whatever they roll.
Okay, so 27 for Rokan.
So 31 for Alkas.
31, okay, good. Alright, and you are heading down to the docks, which are a good 8 miles from the city by road. Okay, so you travel there, it takes a couple of hours.
I think probably if there is a wagon or something going that way,
Yeah.
tipping the wagon driver to give us a ride.
Yep, okay. Very good. You can knock off 5 silver pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to the docks, and at the dockyards there are more walls, not unlike the ones at Dagdagiel, just not as high. And guard towers perched and what have you. You can see soldiers and guards wandering around. You can see ships being guarded by guards, oddly enough. You see the complex that belongs to the wyvern-clad cormorants, who are essentially the navy here. And you see some of their ships docked up and activity going on board over there. And you see the shipmaster's building. Is that where you're essentially heading?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Very good. So you get to the outer sort of edges of the shipmaster's complex. There's essentially a tower there, a sort of squat tower. There's a couple of guards wandering around outside with torches on the walls. There is a stable next to it, wagons and what have you parked there. Not a lot of actual work being done presently because it's the middle of the night, oddly enough. And I will get perception checks from everybody, please.
22 for Rowan.
A 10 for
10
Alkas.
for Alkas, and Rokan, that is a 15. Okay, so Rokan and Rowan, you both notice that there is a Barakyle ship parked here already, sort of a couple of 100 feet away. The sails are down. It looks like it's been here for a little while, perhaps. It's just floating at the end of the pier, and there are 3 hawks circling it.
Concerning. But as long as the hawks are more focused on their boat rather than the tower, we should be fine.
Right. So, as for entering the tower, what is your plan? You know, sneak past the guards or over the walls, or what's the deal?
How far apart are the guards on the wall, and do they regularly rotate?
Yeah, they seem to be casually meandering around in a circular pattern at the top of the wall. It's like a little mini keep.
I see.
And the back end of it is on the water, and they have their own dock, so to speak, on the other side, where they have smaller boats that are designed to be fast and, you know, like patrol boats, essentially.
Okay. And how tall is this wall, sorry?
It's about 25 feet.
I'll turn to Alcos and Rokan. Well, if we plan to go over the wall, I can get up there and drop down a rope for you two, or any other ideas?
Have I still got spider climb?
Do you still have it as in your ring?
Yeah.
Great question. I do not know the answer to that.
He used it.
Right, so you used it, it's gone.
Okay. Okay, let me think. Seem
Now-
like
There you go.
Go ahead.
seem like one way to do it. Anybody got any other ideas?
Now, Alkas is trying to remember from his time as a smuggler and having worked around the docks and everything as both legitimate and illegitimate trader or shipping, where the information that we're looking for would essentially be.
Right, well, you would think it would be in an office inside the keep.
Yeah. Because partially the information that we're looking for, and correct me if I'm wrong, is things about weather and about just more details in general about this ship that we've been asked to look for.
Right.
And if it's coming and going, frequency, and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. Yep, no, that makes sense. So you basically want the shipmaster's logs, is what you look
yes.
for. Right.
Now, I imagine records such as like the weather and things like that are essentially open to everyone, as any sort of shipping person would need to know those sort of thing.
Yeah. You know that they are closed to the public presently because it's the middle of the night.
Right, okay.
You by chance want to charm your way in?
Well, what I'm thinking is, yes, kind of. Did you not know we are hired on a ship that is leaving first thing in the morning, and we do not have time to wait for them to open to get this information, as we're supposed to have already set sail. Now we're only looking for the records about the weather patterns and such. It's nothing restricted.
Well, I'm not exactly a charming fellow like you. I can follow along, but perhaps slightly hidden. I fear I may raise more questions than goodwill.
Well, I can potentially become a distraction while you
That
sneak
would
in the
also
back.
work. I can travel a lot more freely. No offense if I don't have to be trailing rope behind me for you two. No.
To me, that sounds like a goodish plan. However, it does split the splitting of the party.
What's the split?
Splits the splitting. The party.
Splits the split.
Triple split party.
Oh.
Goodness.
Funny.
Well, look, just in case there's any combat, let's roll for initiative now.
Oh, damn. No, there's not going to be any combat. It's 23.
I'm sure there won't be any combat at all.
So charming.
Rokan, you got a 6. Okay, cool. Alright, so what's the plan here? So to be clear, there's 2 guards at the front gate. There's 3 guards wandering around the walls. The walls encompass a courtyard. At the back of the courtyard, there is an octagonal squat tower, the back of which is basically inset into the sea wall, beyond which, Alkas, you're aware that there is a walking path that goes along the edge of a steep drop into the sea from there. Further over to one side of this complex is where they have their navy cormorants and what have you.
Yep. Sorry. Brain.
So, you charm the guards, I sneak over the wall. Bing, bada boom, we go home.
Hopefully with the information we need. Okay then, let's... No time like the present.
Okay. Rowan will again spend 2 more key points. Cast Pass Without a Trace, because this is important.
Right.
Just before that, Alkas will explain the generic layout so you have some idea of what you're looking for and like the path that Russell just described and stuff.
Yeah. He'll give you more details as to the interior as well, so... Because I suspect Alkas has been in this building.
Yes. I would say many a times over the years.
Yeah.
And then with that, Alkas is essentially going to walk up to the front door.
Alright, so there are these 2 guards at the front gate, at the front of the complex. They're standing
I'm
there.
gonna hide myself.
So you're hiding. Now you are outside of the range of Rowan's Pass Without Trace at this point. So you are rolling without the...
I'll use mine.
You're going to cast Pass Without Trace?
Yep.
Alright.
Everyone's got Pass Without Trace. Amazing.
Yep. So, before we do that, I'm going to make sure that everybody's had a long rest before we get into this, because I think that's only fair.
Oh, yes.
Well, no, not you, Rowan. I don't
Yeah.
think you were there for the last session.
Oh, yeah.
Alkis and Rokan weren't.
I mean, I'm still fine. I've got plenty of things.
For sure.
I'm going to
Those
let you
good
have,
berries.
I'm going to let you have a long rest in any case, just
Oh, yeah.
because I'm nice. And because if you fuck this up, I don't want you to die without my.
Am I taking it too? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, sure. You can have a long rest. You can. It's fine. Okay, so Rokan is casting Pass Without Trace, so that's a spell slot at level 2, and you are going to make a stealth check, Rokan, with +9, which you rolled a 17 for a 26, so that is a 36 on your stealth check, Rokan. 36. Did I say that? 36.
Yeah.
You are fucking invisible. Okay, so Rokan, you're just sort of nearby where Alkas is.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to describe your hiding spot? There's lots of barrels and nets and fishing boats.
It's a bunch of barrels.
Yep, there's some
Bunch of
wagons,
barrels.
parked wagons.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hiding by a wagon and some barrels.
There's a bunch of dinghies leaning up against a wall.
Yeah, I'm using all that kind of thing to hide by.
Fishing nets that have been sort of half repaired.
Yeah,
stuff like
and
that.
I can smell the salt in
Smell
them
the
because
salt.
they're up.
And the
drying.
fish too, yeah, and the brine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's where you are, and Alkas, you go wandering up to these two guards, and they sort of watch you approach, and they don't really say anything until you get right up to them.
Ah, good evening, my friends.
Good evening.
My captain has sent me here as we are supposed to depart before the office opens in the morning, and we need some information about the weather recently to make sure we don't get hit by a storm.
Can you make a perception check?
That is a 14.
You remember this guy's face.
I know you, friend. We shared a drink together.
I know you too. You're Alkas, aren't you?
Yes. It's been a while.
You were with the Cormorants some time ago now, weren't you? You did a few expeditions with them.
Oh, yes, on and off throughout time. I prefer the more freelance work.
Right. Well, who are you
Pays
working
better.
for? What's the ship you're on?
The Dusty Wind.
Dusty Wind? Don't know that one. Dusty.
No, it's a foreign ship far off. They bring in spices from far away.
Right. Okay. Can you make a persuasion check now, please?
Persuasion or deception?
Oh, deception's good. Yeah, deception.
Lying. Ooh, 13.
Yeah, right. He seems to be buying it though, so far.
There's a lot of money in random spices, you know, these fancy
my
nobles.
Wife, she's all my freaking pay every week. Spices, condiments, you know, no real food, just fucking condiments.
I'll let you in on a secret. A lot of it's just a scam. Don't let her spend it on it. But you didn't hear that from me. Got to keep business going somehow.
Well, to be fair, you know, I'll tell you this. I mean, she's a damned good cook, and I have to say, it wasn't for the condiments and the spices. I'm pretty sure it would be bland every day. But, you know, anyway, what are you doing up here? You're,
As I say, we need just some of the recent history about weather patterns, as I've heard it can get pretty nasty out there. And last thing we need to do is lose a shipment to a storm.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, they say there's going to be a bit of a bluster tomorrow. Day after that, I think it's going to start. You know, it's going to be a bit heavy. I don't know where it's going after that though. It's you know, trying to predict the weather is a bit like, you know, trying to predict the weather.
Ah, yes. But is there any way I can get him to see the records? I need to see these weather patterns. My captain, he's riding me. He's trying to get it. It was supposed to be done by some drunken fool who's just been kicked off, and as I say, we're leaving first thing, and I've been given the job last minute.
So you've not seen the mariner's astrological reports yet?
No, as I say, this drunken fool was tasked of doing it 2 weeks ago, and he spent all his time drinking and whoring away and has never got round to it.
Bloody heck. Well, it wouldn't have been much
Rokan
use
will resist laughing as much as he can.
Right. Wouldn't have been much use 2 weeks ago anyway, Alcas, if you're worrying about the weather tomorrow. 2
Oh,
weeks
no,
ago.
but I mean, he was supposed to prepare and order and get all this information ready.
Oh, right, I see. Yes, it can be quite troublesome getting through the paperwork in the mariner's office.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're closed.
I see that, but as I say, we're leaving first thing, and I've been sent here to see if I can, get the information.
I'd really like to help you, Alcus. I'm not sure what I can do. I mean, I can't just let you in. It's, it wouldn't be much good paying us to guard the place if we didn't do our jobs, would it?
But these are public records that I will freely have if it was within hours.
To be fair, there is a fee. There's always a fee.
Oh, and I'm willing to pay that fee. I cannot wait till they open up for the morning.
Can you make a persuasion check now?
$14?
Look, I suppose... Look, Darius, you stay there. I'll take Alcas in and we'll have a look, see if we can find them these records.
Thank you, my friend.
So where's the ship going anyway? Opens the gates and you go through a side door.
Well, it's traveling all over. I think all the way up to Vangate. But I'm not traveling that far myself. I'm only going a few stops along the way, and then I'm traveling back by land.
Did you ever go to Charasith, by the way? Never been there. Always wondered what it was like. Like to see those colossus they have there. There's supposed to be colossuses on both sides of the strait. Looking at
It is one of my life's great regrets that I have not travelled there.
Well, that is a shame. I would have liked to have talked to you about that. Nonetheless, he takes you up to the actual tower, and he says to the guards that are there, "Don't worry about him. I'm taking him through for special matters." And they take you through, and they let you through, and he takes you up into the building. Now, what's your face, Rowan and Rokan? What are you doing at this point? Well, this is all going on.
Rowan's about to fully break in, so if Rokan's got anything he wants to do, it's probably wise to go first.
No, I'm just going to keep an eye on everything, and if everything goes south, then I'll make an action.
Alright, so you're just going to stay outside the gates, watching through the gates from your hidey hole in an alley full of boats and nets and carriages and junk, basically. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Alright. And Rowan?
Rowan will, assuming that this wall is not perfectly lit, when it looks like the guards are sort of unattentive or perhaps looking down at Alcus, will use his shadow step ability to jump in between the sort of scones with the shadows, and then as quick as he can just leap into some shadows in the courtyard and try and head to, if Alcus described, a servant's door or some such, a little less guarded door.
Okay, can you make an investigation check once you're inside? You go through the door, through the wall, using the shadows.
An 8.
You look around and you do not immediately see a servant's door. You have dark vision?
I do. I have 60 feet of it.
Right. You can see the main entrance, and you can see there's 2 more guards there, and they've just let Alcas through there. Looking up the side of the building, you can see there's a couple of arched windows with shutters on the outside.
They have a little ledge.
Yeah, they do have little ledges, yeah.
If it's within 60 feet, I'll try and whoop up to them and just sort of climb in and just try and pry one of the shutters open to see if I can see inside.
So you're going to use Shadow Step again to do that?
Yep.
Alright, can I...
Just a bonus action, I believe.
Very good. I'll get you to make an acrobatics check just to make sure that you grab on when you get there.
Oh, I'm great at that. That's a 17.
Alright, so you managed to do that, and you... Okay, so you sneak in through a window on the second, third floor? Something like that. What do we say, 60 feet?
Yep.
It's like... Yeah, okay, so that's probably near the top of the tower. The top of the keep. Alright, so you come in popping in through the window, and you are indeed in some kind of office space. It's sort of a large, almost open plan place with pillars and archways separating spaces, but you can see into the whole floor. Pretty much. You can see a couple of doors and some stairs that go down. There's no lighting here at the moment. There's nobody here at all. It's very quiet. You can make a perception check.
I would love to do that. There it is. Oh, 7. Oh, 8 actually. Math.
8. Okay, never mind. Alright, so what are you looking for right now?
I'm looking for like a safe box or just like a large desk that looks like where the dockmaster would keep important papers regarding which ship is going where.
Right. Okay, so what you... you do not see that on this floor.
Okay.
There is, however, a large kind of table that has a mock-up of the dockyards on it. Like a miniature mock-up sort of map of the docks. And it has little... miniature boats, and they've got labels on them.
Assuming I can't read it because it's dark. I've got dark vision. I can't see color.
For sure, you can read it. You can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was this boat called?
The boat that you're looking for, or which one are you talking about?
The one we are supposed to sink. Is that on here anywhere?
No.
Okay, then I'll just scan over it. Just see if I spot anything particularly interesting.
You can make an investigation check.
Come on, investigation. Natural 20.
Natural 20. Very good. Okay, so what you notice is that there is a Barakyle ship here, but it's not the ship that you're looking for. It has a totally different name. It's called the Good Run.
Good Run.
Okay, so
does it state who's aboard? Like, is it an envoy ship as well with a certain politician aboard?
Okay, well this is just a mock-up of the area with a label on it, so it's only got the name of the ship. So you're aware of the name of that ship is here. Make another perception check if you like.
Come on, got +5 to this. Roll above a 10. Nope, that's another 8.
Fuck.
Cannot roll above an 8.
You're looking around and you just don't seem to be able to figure out where this information is being kept.
Nope. God damn it.
Okay, so it's taking you some time. You're scrambling through over desks and tables and looking through boxes and looking in shelves and stuff. And there's all sorts of other stuff. Some of it may be more or less interesting, but nothing about the boats particularly here. Okay, Alcas. So you're led into the place, and the guy takes you to the Mariner's Astrological Office, where there are a bunch of charts and such like, and a few sort of alchemical looking things around the room. It's it seems like a very secure room. He has to get a key from a box before he can even come into this room. And he opens it up and he says, "All right, look, don't steal nothing in here, all right? Keep your hands to yourself."
No, of course not.
Right. Good. All right, so what are you looking for? Weather patterns. Could be around here somewhere. I don't come in here too often these days. Let's have a look. What we got here? Oh, look, here it is. Here it is. I found it. So you're looking for the last, like the next few days. Is that basically what you're looking for?
Yes. What sort of weather are we looking at potentially?
Right.
What has it been?
Well,
If there are any places we should avoid because it's notorious for bad weather.
well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of different charts here for different places and times. When and where are you talking about?
South to north for Barrack Isle, right?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that they plan to leave and go south to Barrack Isle, as they have a delivery to make there before heading around. I don't know exactly. I've only been brought on last minute.
Well, that is interesting. Sounds a little bit irregular, but all right. South to Barrack Isle. What we got here? Well, this is interesting. Okay. Well, this is interesting. This particular weather pattern here has been removed. These reports have been removed, sir.
You just told me not to steal anything, and you can't even keep it safe from others.
No.
I'm only joking,
it wasn't
friend.
Anyone. It was probably done for all the right reasons, you know. I mean, look, I'll tell you something. I know is those Barrack Isle ship captains. They come in here sometimes, and they use their diplomatic immunity to pull reports like this from time to time when they don't want nobody knowing nothing about the weather, where they're going, and what have you.
That just seems unsafe for the rest of us.
Well, yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's I sort of say that's a bloody crime if you ask me, but they seem to be able to get away with it.
They've got a lot more power than the two of us, my friend, so...
Oh, yes. Well, it's
don't
one of the reasons
don't rock the boat, as they say.
Don't rock the boat, that's right. It's why I like to stay on dryรื่อง. So, is there anything else I can help you with here, sir?
My friend, while we're here, I know that you are not going to like this.
Yeah? What?
I'm asking you to do something that is not allowed, so to speak.
No, look. We need to get out of here now, I think. Time for
Okay.
you to head off.
Okay, friend. Can we keep it between us that I asked that? In fact, I didn't ask anything, did I?
I'm not like that, all right? It's not anything personal or nothing. I'm sure you're fine, but I've got a wife. I'm married. I just don't do those sorts of things. I'm a religious fellow. I go to the temple every week.
I'm sure a guard's payment doesn't quite give you everything that you need.
Mr. Alcus, there's some things that a man shouldn't do.
I agree, but providing for his family is something that a man should do.
I do provide for my family. But I'm not doing nothing lewd with you in the mariner's office. I'm sorry.
I mean no offense by this, my friend, but I have standards higher than what you can offer.
Oh, wait, so that's not what you wanted?
No.
Oh, crikey, for a minute there, I thought you were asking me something else. Never mind, what is it?
I wouldn't need to buy my way into that.
Oh, come on, I'm not that bad looking.
I have some suspicions about the captain I am working for. And this delivery I say to the Barrack Isle, I'm not even supposed to have told you that. But I want to make sure I'm not being caught up in anything illegal that I could get in trouble for.
Oh, I see.
And so I was hoping that we could potentially slip into the records room and see if any other trips like this have been made before. Because I know for a fact they have. I just want to see if there are records of it.
And for this little favour, you're prepared to provide for my family, are you?
I am sure there may be some coin. I am sure that there will be a small bag of coin that finds its way into your hands.
Well, I suggest it better find its way into my hands pretty quickly then. How about right now?
How much are we talking, friend? Let's not beat around the bush.
Well, I'll be thinking something like about 10 gold pieces.
Make it 15 and we've got a deal.
Right. We have a deal then.
And so I will hand over 14 gold pieces and then the one marked gold piece that I had.
Okay. Alright, very good. Okay, he takes that and puts it in his pouch, counting it out and puts it in his pouch, and then he leads you to upstairs. Now, Rowan, you can make a perception check. You
You're
are
muted.
muted.
A 14.
A 14. Okay, well, you hear footsteps coming from downstairs. And you hear voices. One of them sounds like Alcas.
Do I see any, like, is there, like, curtains I can hide behind, a desk I can duck under?
Yeah, there are some drapes. As I said, there's archways sort of breaking up this big wide space here. Large tables and things. There's the map table itself with the miniature dockyards on it.
I'll try and shadow step up to one of the arches and just sort of make myself as small as possible.
All right. On the walls, incidentally, there are a number of bits of memorabilia, a few small painted boats and things floating around, so to speak, no pun intended, some oars and things like that, nets and stuff. You know, it's mariner themed.
Guy likes his boats.
Right, so you've still got Pass Without Trace going at this point, so you can make another stealth check for me.
Oops, I rolled a sleight down, but it's the same anyway.
It's the same? Okay,
So,
it's
33.
33, okay. So Alcas and his new friend come wandering in. They don't see you at all, I don't think, unless Alcas has got like a stupid high perception. Maybe
Not that high.
It's not even worth rolling for. Okay, and they come wandering through this place, and there's the back corner of the room. You realize that there is essentially a secret door behind a tapestry there. The tapestry depicts a great sea monster fighting against a boat full of, soldiers and what have you, essentially on another boat. And he pulls back the tapestry, and there is a door there, and he takes you through into what is in fact the office where these details are kept. So he gives you access to the stuff, and you can make a investigation check, please.
That is a 16.
16, alright. Well, with that 16, what is it that you're looking for specifically?
So basically I'm lying about the premise that this ship I'm on is doing a potentially illegal delivery to and from Dagdagiel to Barrack Isle,
Right.
to try gain access to shipping records of ships coming that route.
Right. Right. Now, this guy that's with you, I did give you a name, didn't I? Doesn't matter. We'll call. I think he said it. We'll call him Durran for now. Durran stands over your shoulder the whole time as you're doing this. So if you want to do it, you'll need to make some sort of deception check or something. If you don't want him to know what it is that you're really up to.
Okay, I'll make a deception check then for a 23.
Very good. Okay.
So I'm just pretending I'm looking for a specific ship, but
Right.
in fact I'm trying to take note of the different ship names and the frequency they come type thing.
Right, okay. And when you find the name of the ship that you're looking for, which is... I did give you the name of that ship, didn't I? Your ship is... the one that... the ship that you have is called the Griffin. The Good Run is the one that's here now. And... have I not got a name for the other ship? Oh, okay. Well,
There was a name.
There was a
I
name.
can't remember it though.
Yeah, I seem to have lost it as well. Anyway, we'll come back to the name of that ship. In any case, you find the name of that ship, and you see that it has it's marked as diplomatic envoy. It has high priority. It's been marked to have high priority docking and, mooring and all of those boat words that I don't know. Feel free to enlighten us and, give us some terminology if you have some there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Sorry.
It's all good. Okay, so what else can I tell you about it? There's no information about what's on the boat. It seems to be kind of listed as it's a diplomatic envoy. It has diplomatic immunity to all of that sort of information.
The frequency that it comes in?
It has never been here before.
Okay.
Not at least not within the last sort of 12 months that you go through the records for.
And is there any information about when it is due to arrive, so you can guesstimate when it will be?
It's due to arrive in about 3 days. They don't know exactly when, of course, because that's sort of partly up to the weather. The captain of that ship, their name is Darius Drake.
And the trip from Barrackisle to Dagdagiel is approximately, we're saying it's...
Most ships traveling that kind of distance you would expect to take like a few weeks, maybe even like a month. But Barrackisle ships apparently are a bit faster, and they can make that kind of distance sometimes in even half the time.
But they've been at sea for a while. They're not...
Yeah.
It's not like a 3-day trip and they're due in 3 days type thing is what I'm getting at.
No. It'll be at the end of a few weeks worth of voyaging.
Cool. My friend, see, this is what I was worried about.
What is that?
The dusty wind. There is no record of it making this trip before. However, the captain told me it made this trip only a few months ago.
Well, that is interesting, isn't it? We should take this to the Wyvern clan.
I would ask you keep it to yourself for now. I don't know, but we both know the Barrackisle have certain immunities, and I do not want to get either of us in trouble for looking into this.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's probably best we leave it there then, isn't it?
I suggest you keep that gold I gave you, use it sparingly, and forget that we ever even came here.
Don't worry about that, sir, I will. In fact, I might lead you out the back way this time.
I would prefer to leave out the front, as people have seen me come in. Might raise suspicions if I don't come out.
Yeah. I can talk to them about that. See, the problem is that the shift's probably changed in the last 10 minutes outside, which, Rokan, you happen to know has happened. They changed the shift, the guards changed while they were inside.
Good.
So the new guards won't have seen you come in, and the old
okay,
guards
whatever you think is best, my friend.
I'll lead you out the back way. I think it's better that way. Alright, come with me. Then he takes you out and locks the room up, returns the key, locks that room up, leads you out from that floor, locks the floor up, takes you downstairs to the back door, which basically leads out to a passageway that comes out on the seawall. So it's about 5 feet wide, and then it drops down 15-20 feet to the water on a sort of very, very sharp angle like that. Stone wall. Yeah. Right. Hopefully I won't see you soon.
Hopefully, my friend.
Closes the door. Locks it. Alright. Meanwhile, Rowan.
You did again.
I know that.
Nope.
Did I hear what Elkus was saying about the ship, or am I completely in the dark as regards to what he's gathered?
You can make a perception check.
I was going to say, Alcas wouldn't have been...
Nat 1.
I guess you didn't hear anything.
Oh, so I'm under the impression I still need to break into this thing. I'll bamf down to the door, pull out my picks, and attempt to pick my way in.
Alright, you can make a sleight of hand check, or whatever check you want to make that is your tool proficiencies.
I believe it's the same as sleight of hand.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. 25.
Alright, you unlock the door.
Now, can I find the information? I'll just peruse through and try and find whatever this ship ended up being named.
Alright, very good. So you can make an investigation check. Now, it is dark in here, but you're half-elf, so you can see.
Can a minor illusion create light? Let me just check. I can create sound.
No.
No light. Okay. Another natural 1.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Well, you find some information that you are absolutely sure is the correct information in this logbook. However, the problem is it's the wrong year.
I'm going to take this logbook anyway, because as far as I'm concerned, this is what I need.
Right?
And I'll attempt to exit the way I can.
Okay, very good. I'll get another stealth check.
29. Assuming my past that trace is still up.
Very good. You make your way out of the place and back out onto the street where you last saw your friends.
I'll just wait for Elkus to come back round because I can't find Roken. He's invisible.
Right, and you are too, right? Basically at this point.
Yep.
So
just standing side by side. No idea.
Elkas, I assume you walk around the complex from the outside, from the sea gate,
And assuming that my friends are going to see me and I'm not going to see them, I essentially just walk down one of the streets, whistling a tune to be noticed but not conspicuous.
Right, okay. So you both will have noticed him doing that.
Mm.
And thusly, you guys head back to the city, I assume.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so back to the city you go.
I will drop behind them a bit just to make sure nothing follows them back.
Okay, I'll make a perception check for you, Rokan. That is a 22, Rokan. What you notice is that one of the guards comes out from the front gate, seems to scan around and checks to see if there's anyone around, spies Alcas whistling, and waits back, hangs back, and then once Alcas starts walking down the street, and assuming Rowan comes out, he comes out and starts following for a little while. Now you're behind that guard.
I will follow him.
Alright, well, after a few blocks, once it looks like Alcas is leaving the dockyards and heading back to Dagdagiel, he breaks off and turns around and fucks off.
Good.
Alright, so long story short, you end up heading back to Dagdagiel. Now, while that is all happening, Vespera and Lothorian.
Yes. Yes. Well, I am going to use Pass Without a Trace. I'm not going to use my Ring of Invisibility.
Okay.
And we will walk the streets on our way towards the Temple of the Seldarine.
Alright, so you're heading to the Temple of the Seldarine, and you're doing it sneakily, is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's probably best at this time of night.
Lothorian, are you wearing your armor?
I am, but I also are given a cloak of Elven Kind.
Right, nice. Okay, so you can make stealth checks, please.
All right. Okay. 25. Oh my god. 25.
So with pass without trace, 13.
13 with pass without trace.
That's amazing.
But they do have disadvantage on perception checks to see me.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Cool. So you get to the Temple of the Seldarine, and you go up to the front gates. There are watch guards there, but they don't stop you. Inside, you can hear singing and chanting quietly going on. Prayer and so forth.
I'm going to say a prayer as I enter.
Alright. Elven prayers? Yep. Or are you doing a...
Not Elven. It'll be to Lathander or to the powers of nature. To, was it Beni Azoth or something? The Phoenix.
Very well.
All of them.
Yeah. Lotharian also offers prayers to several members of the Seldarine.
Very good. Okay, cool. So you head on inside and you seek out Matron Solaria. Alright, well, you find her, but she's probably asleep at this point in time. And so you have to you have to get someone to wake her. That doesn't take too long, but when she... Actually, you probably need to make a persuasion check to make this person do that. It's just an acolyte.
I look at Lotharian. I know this. I believe in you.
I'm sorry,
Guidance.
sir, but the matron is sleeping now. It's her rest time. It is very late.
Is there no way we can speak to her? I do understand. I am given to understand you know who I am.
Well, out of game, I'm not sure that you do.
Okay. Very well. But she would... Okay, never mind. Okay, I just basically just ask if there's any... Is there any way we can speak to her?
Well, is it important?
I look
Life
at
or
Vespera.
death.
Oh, I see. Life or... Well, in that case, yes. I'm sure I can... I'll go and wake her, and
Thank you.
if you would just wait in the Seldarine chapel here.
Thank you kindly.
She heads off, and a few minutes later, Matron Solaria comes down, rubbing her eyes. She's wearing, she's still putting on clothes as she comes in. She's putting on her cloak and what have you. Oh, Vespera, Lotharion, you're here. It's very late.
Matron Solaria.
Why?
We are so sorry to interrupt you in your rest. However,
What is it?
we find it a necessary thing for us to tell you that we have a new location where you should go to if you're in trouble.
Why now? Why are you telling me now? Why? Could
Because-
this not wait till the morning?
Because anything can happen at any time. And if you went back to the sewer, the place that we had told you about earlier, you could have been killed by other things. That place is compromised. We can't go back there.
This is becoming very dangerous, Vespera.
I know.
I'm not sure if I should continue with this. I'm beginning to feel that perhaps I should withdraw from these plans.
We need your help, and I know it's scary. I know it's scary because I am living it. I take her hand and I hold it.
You want to make another persuasion check for me?
Sure. Guidance. Cheeky guidance. Please, Lathander, help me out here. Because persuasion is not my thing. Oh, thank fuck.
Here is a new...
Holy shit.
This is a house rule I came up with this week. In fact, I think Avery was there when I came up with this. When you use guidance, you need to say the name of your deity out loud.
Right.
You have to say something to the effect of, please, deity, help me do this thing, whatever the thing is.
I just did.
And thusly you speak it out loud in front of the person. It does not work very well for social checks.
I think it works in this case because she's a cleric as well. And she knows that...
She knows what you're doing.
She knows that we all need a bit of a helping hand from our deity. So, I have a dirty 20.
Okay. Well, persuasion check by itself was, in this case, well good enough, so that's fine. But I am going to insist on this roll. Anyway, so... Very well. Do you have maps? Do you have some sort of... Where is this haven that you've come upon?
All right. I'm going to try and... Well, with Lotharian's help, I'm going to try and best describe to her the way to get to where...
So you're going to try and tell her how to get through a complicated maze of tunnels and a wall that you were led to.
Thinking about it, I would say, I turn to Vespera and say, I believe it would be best if she simply went to House Baleburn and asked for
Skargarn?
Skargarn? No, it wouldn't be Skargarn. That'd be too obvious. Dagmar. Ask for Dagmar and tell him that you sent her.
I see.
I think it's probably the safest way.
Very well. Very well. I will keep that in mind. Thank you so much for your concerns. But I do fear for my life now.
It may be best if you take a less active role for the time being.
Yes.
Wait, I actually have something that might help, I believe. Let me just check over my bag of tricks and goodies and everything. I was pretty sure I was given one of those, like, the rings of spell storing. Or were they all allocated already?
I don't remember, sorry.
In that case, it's probably not going to fly.
I mean, it's like, if you're giving those out, I mean, I feel like Lotharian would get better mileage out of one of those.
Yeah. We have a lot of those capes.
Yeah, but I've... True, I mean...
Are you having this conversation?
It's more about taking inventory currently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, we were all given a cape. Vespera is not going to end up using the cape that she has.
Because you're using all your attunement slots.
Yeah. So okay. I will give her the cloak of Alvenkind.
She takes it. Where did you get this?
I am also curious about how you came about these.
We were given them.
These are very precious relics of the elven folk.
Well, I'm not elven, but I will take your word for it. I will put it around her shoulders. Look after it.
I cannot accept this gift.
Well, consider it a borrowing.
Is that how you came upon it?
Oh, no. It's not stolen. It was given to us.
So she's making an insight check on you.
I am being completely honest.
Yep.
The spirit is definitely not a very good liar. You would be able to tell if she was lying.
Okay. Very well. I suppose then. You have no idea where it comes from.
I do up to a point.
I see. She wraps it up and bundles it under her arm. Is there anything I can help you with while you're here?
Oh, A prayer for us all, I think, would be perfect.
Very well then. Let us pray together.
Okay.
Come. She takes
Come on,
you-
Letharian. Let's go.
Yeah, he trundles along after them.
Let's do it.
So you guys.
Let's get freaky.
While they're still in private, Lotharian pulls something out of a pouch and hands her the matron a sealed scroll and says, "I trust you can have this forwarded to my cousin on my behalf."
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
She takes it. What does it have in it?
It's just a report on, like, he would have made a few notes on recent events. I'm just kind of imagining he's just like reporting back to her periodically if anything unusual comes up, because obviously she has ways and means, but you know, it's good to get multiple sources, and given the distance.
Yep. Fair enough. Okay, cool. Thusly, you pray, and you spend, I don't know how much time, maybe 15 minutes to half an hour praying.
I'm just hoping the matron doesn't fall asleep.
Well, actually, it occurs to me that she is actually an elf, so she shouldn't have been asleep in the first place. So she would have been trancing, not sleeping.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't fall asleep at this time either, but still, she is tired.
I thought elves could sleep, it's just they don't have to.
I don't know if they can. I think for half-elves it's different.
I prefer that, honestly, Sean, but it is D&D, and there's conventions around it. I'm happy to go with that, to be honest. That elves should be able to sleep if they want to.
Like, I'm actually just reading the actual way it's written. It just says you don't need to sleep. It doesn't say you can't, it just says you don't need to.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough. Okay, then let's go with that. That's cool. Alright, so after you've done all that business with her, she prays for you. She gives you both guidance before you leave.
Thank you.
And thusly you head off. And you return to those new quarters, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, cool. And when you get there, you discover that it has now got a bunch of new furniture. There's more food here. There's water and ale and bread and meat. There's even a tablecloth. A number of chairs have been moved in. Some of it's it's kind of nice stuff too. It's not like cheap shit either. It looks like it's been pulled out of somebody's very nice office and moved here. And there is indeed a picture of a tree and a picture of a sailboat.
Amazing.
On the walls.
Aw, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
Now it feels like the window is open.
Right, exactly. So there's a few other bits and pieces and supplies that you might need, and anything else I can think of. There's boxes of guard uniforms here, and one of the rooms you discover, there is a token amount of relatively simple weapons and armor. I mean, it's military stuff, but it's not magical or anything like that. It's not fancy. It's just like, here's a bunch of daggers, here's a bunch of short swords, here's a couple of long swords, here's a few shields we didn't need, and so forth. And stuff that you would need to keep shit sharp, like whetstones and things like that as well, and repair tools and basic stuff. All the things that you basically need to keep this going, at least
Amazing.
On a small scale. All right, and then the others arrive. Rokan.
I come in. I'll be the last to come in because I was behind the guys.
All right, very well.
I'm reading something.
How much time would you say has passed between the two groups getting back?
That's a great question. I mean, they probably would have taken a lot longer than you because they had a lot further to travel. And
okay.
They did take wagons, so that would cut it down by half. But maybe you and Vespera could have like an hour to 2 hours.
Okay. I think Lotharian would have, taken care of his gear and started cooking something in that room with the hole you mentioned.
Yep, sure. Yep, okay. Cool. All right, so when the rest of you arrive, you can smell food, cooking, and
I'm eating some bread. Well, you got me in the middle of eating. Sorry.
You there?
Yes, this is looking far more homely.
Look, it's a picture of a ship. That's for you, Alcus.
Thank you, I guess?
And there's a picture of a tree, which is for me because there's like a severe lack of nature in here.
There's also a box that has a bunch of paper and ink and quills in it, along with stamps and seals and wax.
Wow. Amazing.
Certainly a lot more functional than it was.
Feralt would have loved this. He loves paper. That's a fact. What?
Facts about your character.
He does.
Loves paper.
So, how'd it go? How was your trip?
We got some information. However, not that much more, to be honest.
Oh, so did you get anything, like a weather chart?
Yes, so I managed to get some information about the weather, how it's been and how it should be over the next couple of days, and information surrounding this ship. It seems that it is a diplomatic envoy of some kind, and that it is basically given highest priority to be ushered in and given premium spot at the wharf for easy access. And also the captain's name is Darius Drake. But
Okay.
beyond this, not much.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
Better than nothing, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, we will go find out what our ship is capable of. Also, if we do come across, if we're doing the plan that we are, so we're going to need an extra sail for when we need to replace it.
Alcas, you would know that most ships carry more than one sail anyway, right?
Yeah.
I don't. And we're also, like, we need everyone to be able to have some sort of ranged attack or maybe like a fire bomb thing or something. I don't know. I want everyone to be prepared. I can create fire in my hand, but...
That's why me say I need special arrows.
And by special, what do you mean?
Ones that can be burnt.
So flaming arrows
fire.
is what you're talking
They
about.
fire flames. They can be flamed.
Okay. Do you need like rags soaked in some sort of oil? Or...
These arrows are a little bit longer than normal arrows.
I guess that's something we can go do tomorrow morning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's some in that room. The room with all the weaponry.
I'll go and have a look.
Can you make an investigation check, Rokan? Sure, I can.
I'm amazed Rokan didn't go to the room where the cooking was happening first.
He's a different person. He's a changed orc.
It's a changed orc.
Yeah.
Rokan, you don't find anything regarding flaming arrows in here, unfortunately, but you do find a box that you haven't seen before under a sheet.
Hey? Alcas!
Yes.
Come here. Need your help.
Oh, with what, friend?
No. This box. Yeah, have a look. It might be, might be locked or something.
It's a small chest, and indeed it does appear to be locked. It looks quite reinforced too. It's a very nice chest.
Did we get given a key for this one?
I grab out the skeleton key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It opens, and inside it you find all of the masks and relics and stuff that you gave House Baleburn earlier. All of the Hegemon masks and stuff that you've previously collected and handed over. Along with a few extras.
What extras? Just extra masks?
Yeah, extra masks. Basically, it's basically what I'm trying to give you is trophies.
Oh,
Barakyle
nice.
trophies.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
Now that's something my character would understand. Trophies.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So he starts finding a place on a wall where you can put trophies.
Okay, cool. Very nice. So what else
Still
you
got
guys
blood
want?
on them. I guess we'll sit around and we'll eat and we'll talk to each other and learn about each other and...
Right, well you have chairs and a table now as well, so that's handy. And a tablecloth even. And a vase.
So, before we do this, we need to make sure that we trust each other and that we're good friends.
Elkas, you'll notice there's a barrel of ale. Some cups. Silverware, plates and things.
Yeah, barrel of ale that Elkas is definitely not going to be the first one to open. If someone else opens it, it's only right.
If Rokan notices he hasn't touched it yet, Rokan goes up to him, puts his hand on Elkas's head and goes, "You not well?"
What about you, Rokan? Do you not smell the burning meat from the hallway?
It would be a stew.
Do you not smell the stew?
I am well, I'm not that thirsty.
Okay, there's something wrong.
I'm not rolling an inside check. I know that's a blatant lie.
Right, we got to find prison, put him in, quick. Rogan goes to lift you up.
The other thing that you notice is in the hallway there's a couple of doors that are currently freestanding, just sitting there waiting to be installed.
Oh, amazing. All right. So, why don't we all go around and we actually say what our past is? Because I don't know any of you. I don't know any of your past.
I think Lotharian's still not in the room, Charlie.
Oh, well, I'm talking to everyone except Lotharian then. Maybe I'm speaking loud enough.
Lotharian,
you can come in and join us.
check to hear this conversation, I suppose.
Okay.
Perception. You get bonuses to perception.
I'm sure you know my past.
No.
Him passed out a lot.
Okay, that was good.
Okay, do I hear Rokan laughing at least?
You certainly do, yes.
Okay. I would probably come and investigate at that point.
Okay.
Lotharian,
Yes?
come and take a seat. We're going to talk about our past.
Very well.
It could be like just what how you grew up and your family, and it could be dumb things like an accident you had when you were younger and now you can't walk properly, or yes. So everyone say something, and let's start with Rowan. You can't run, you can't hide from me.
You have to unmute first.
That always helps.
Just thinking. Hold on. I wasn't expecting to be first. Well, what do you want to know that I haven't already told you? I'm an age, I'm a person.
I must confess, I have only recently met you myself. I'm not familiar with your past.
Nor am I familiar with yours. Well, besides the fact that you're not actually a lord, as we've discussed.
I did not say I was not a lord. I just said that I have distanced myself from my family. And I asked that I said that I do not request special treatment, but that does not change the fact of my birth. I simply don't believe that it puts me above anyone else.
I think we need to open that barrel, Rokan. Could you do that? Can't hear you.
Unmute, Barry.
Rokan, son of KIRKBY Mingo.
I said open the barrel.
I don't want to open barrel.
Sorry, Rokan, did you say KIRKBY Mingo?
Yeah, Lotharian's eyebrows also shoot up at that.
Yes, he is the son of KIRKBY Mingo.
Interesting.
Aren't you, Rokan?
Why interesting?
Very famous woman.
Yeah. Very famous woman. You want to try having her for a mother.
What was she like?
What was she like?
Yeah.
She one told me, Rokan, you good with the bow and arrow. You stick with the bow and arrow. She say that to me. And I was only 3. You know?
That's
and when I killed my first individual...
It's a big word for Rokan in combat.
When I killed my first individual, she very proud. She very proud. I the youngest boy. I the youngest boy, see.
Out of how many?
Oh, I have a sister. I have 3 sisters and, counting me, 2 brothers.
So these are just the ones that you know about.
Yeah, these are the ones I know about.
That's amazing.
I tell you what, I'm going to make a history check for Rokan to see if he knows something very specific. Rokan history. Where are you? Okay, +0, but that is a natural 1. Afraid not.
Did you have any pets growing up?
Yeah. We had pet. Me had. Hard to explain what it looked like. It big and mean.
Bigger than you?
Oh, no, not quite bigger than me. Come up to my middle.
Oh.
The Orcan term apparently doesn't translate. What are you talking about?
I mean, you got multiple people in the group who do speak Orc.
Right.
Yeah. You would have had dogs and hyenas and shit like that. What are you getting at?
Yeah, he had a bear at one stage.
Amazing.
Yeah. A bear.
Yeah, that he would wrestle with.
Okay.
Aww.
3-year-old wrestling with a bear.
I'm thinking like the UFC fighters, like the crazy ones that wrestle with bears to train.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Me had bear. Him die though. Him die.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you kill him?
And that's enough about me. You people more interesting.
Nonsense. You're all very interesting to me. So, Rowan. What was it? You don't have to say anything that you don't want to. But what about something like a happy memory? Or some, yeah. Do you have any family, a sister or brother? Or?
I suppose I have a family, and technical sense. I lived with them for most of my life. Many, many brothers and sisters, and I suppose aunts and uncles. But
That's
no,
amazing.
no blood ties. At least not that I know of.
What a strange upbringing. Where did you grow up?
A very large farm.
He's visibly taken aback by that.
I will have been staring at Mr. Lothorian for that. Just trying to recognize any familiarity.
Do you guys want to make insight checks on each other?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Lotharian's not hiding it, but
That's good, because that's an 11.
that's a 7. I'm rolling shit tonight. Important
Same
stuff.
here.
But yeah, he's just like, it's like, so you know that he knows where you're from.
Yeah. I believe Ram was in the room when you were shit-talking King of Rain.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's like, I imagine there's a number of high elves who aren't that happy with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you're outside of Hemoth Tirith, you're outside of Tularathion, so you no one's looking over your shoulder so much. The paranoia that you typically would have is not so present here.
So, what was your favorite food growing up?
Growing up? Porridge.
I can see that. Like,
Me like
porridge is quite nice. Yes.
Highly nutritious.
I don't really like the color of it though, but I would always put like some flowers in there or something.
Flowers and porridge?
Porridge with honey.
Yes, honey.
Never had honey with it.
Oh, you got to do that. You got to do that.
Maybe I will. Maybe you can show me sometime, Roken. Take me on a feast run. I don't know what the equivalent of a bar.
I do that. I do that sometime.
That would be cute. So, Alkis, now I do know a little bit about your past.
Yes.
So, why don't you tell us something about yourself? What about the thing that makes you you?
Well, I'm fairly an open book. I grew up around these parts with my father being a fisherman, and I then got into some trouble and was given a way out of that trouble in terms of spending time working off the debt on a ship. Where I spent some time, traveled the world, saw some places, learnt my craft, and ended up here.
Were you ever given a role of captain? Or did anyone ever give you control of the spinning wheel thing?
I mean, I took the helm quite often, but I was not the captain.
Oh.
Rokan will go and open the what's the name?
The barrel.
The barrel, yeah.
Right.
See, that is one common misconception. The captain is just someone who delegates jobs to everyone else. They don't do anything themselves. They don't sit there steering the ship themselves. That's a lot of manual labor for someone so important. They just have some poor sap that has to stand there steering the ship through the storm.
My mother killed her own people. She don't get nobody else to do it. She killed them herself.
Okay.
I can see that, yeah.
That would track with what I've heard of her.
Rokan, you would have been brought up moving from place to place with war wagons and camps, shifting locations all the time as various other tribes were trying to chase your family and your people down. And when Kagi Mingal went into rebellion, things got worse. You lost family, you lost groups of members of your tribes, some of your brothers and sisters and what have you were killed. There have been some really close calls, but you've also been on raids with them where they've gone and smashed other tribes and that type of stuff.
He kind of keeps that to himself.
So, Alkis, what was your happiest moment?
Actual real life moment. Well, one time we were sailing and we had a bit of time to spare, so we stopped off at what is commonly known as the deepest part of the ocean in the world, and we just let the ship drift for a bit, but all of the crew, we jumped in and went for a swim, and just between us, I swam away from the group a little bit, and I had a little wee. So I can say that I have had a wee in the deepest part of the ocean.
That's amazing.
True story.
The difference between the reality and the game aspects of it is that you didn't piss off any storm giants.
Wow, you don't know.
Or maybe he pissed on some storm giants.
Well, that's amazing. So, Lotharion, tell us a bit about your life growing up.
Well, I suppose there's the obvious things. My family life, I'm afraid, my parents were always rather distanced from me. It was very, very cold. There was always the expectation of what we should do, having to uphold the honor of our house and what all the expectations. The only family member I can say I was truly close with was my cousin. I called her Io. That's not her full name. She's now a priestess with the Daughters of Twilight in Vane Gate. It's funny. She was the only member of my family that I could truly call myself close with in any regard. But anyway, I was trained to fight. I was introduced to you as a knight, which is correct. I'm afraid, Rokan, I have gone into battle against your people on a number of occasions, and I found them to be quite fierce fighters. And unfortunately, certain events happened, and I was forced to confront a great number of things that I'd been brought up believing, and now I find myself here.
Amazing. So, do you have anything in your possession that you find to be the most sentimental thing to you?
Well, unfortunately, I have been moving around quite a lot recently, so I don't have any possessions that I've had with me for a long time. The only thing that I could truly say is the only things I can truly say are important is. So he lifts up his amulet and saying, "This was given to me when I first took holy vows." And lets it drop to his chest, and then he gestures to the weapon and on his back and just says,
Can I ask a question?
What would you like to know?
You part of the Elven Elite Guard?
Are you referring to the Black Guard or the Red Guard?
The Black Guard.
I am not a member of the Black Guard.
Would you like to make an insight check, Rokan?
Mm-hmm.
Can Rowan also make this check?
Yep.
The Sparrow's not going to make the check, but she is going to pour ale into a cup.
Rokan, you get a 12 on this insight check. It's probably not enough to know anything.
24 for Rowan.
Right.
He is not currently a member of the Black Guard.
Not currently. Not. Okay. Rowan will sort of. He'll almost slink off. He's gonna go to another room for a second.
So you'll notice.
Excuse me.
Slinking.
I need the bathroom.
Right.
Oh.
So you're gonna
Guess
go to
I'll
the,
wait for him.
So you head to the long drop room,
I'm going to roll a wisdom check.
Advisable. Oh, fucking man.
And I just call out to him in Elven. I see. You're reporting to your superiors.
I will reply in Elven. I have no idea what you're talking about. And then slink off.
How far are you going, Rowan?
He's just going to the other room for now. He's not going too far because he's kind of worried about what this new guy, Lotharian, is going to do.
Basically, that's all I do. I just call out after him.
Also in Elven, Alcus is going to call out, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Rokan, you don't speak Elven.
You know that when you speak a different language in front of us, it's not very nice.
I apologize. However, this is a personal matter. And I will explain the details in a future date. I do apologize for that. And he is sincerely apologizing. We all have secrets.
Vespera looks at herself and she's like, I don't know about that. I might do it.
I don't.
Okay. Everyone except Elkis has secrets.
Some people just have shame.
I don't think Elkis has that either.
Never heard of it.
Vespera starts saying things about her own life.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with the wildfire druids. That's where my family is. When I was a baby, we originally lived on a volcano, but we had since become nomadic. And I won't really tell you about where we are currently for the safety of them. I have the world's best parents in the world. Yeah, the best parents in the world. My dad is the most friendliest gentleman. He has big, bushy red hair and a massive beard. And he never wears a top. He always wears a kilt, and he's a farmer. And my mom is a bit of a herbalist. She works with plants and does the apothecary things, makes potions and all that. She has a little awakened shrub that sits and helps her make these little potions. It's very cute. And I grew up with them, but at the same time, a little bit away from them because everyone, they desperately wanted me to grow up being a druid for some reason. And I've just figured out what that is the other night when Lotharian told me about why I have freckles that are reflective and eyes that glow in the dark. So thanks to him, I now have a reason for why the elders said I should become a druid. Otherwise, I probably would have gone after the same route my mom has taken, and she was I would be making potions with her currently. Is there any question you want to ask me?
Tell me about your... So basically, Lotharian would just start asking about questions about her life as a druid. Like, just out of genuine curiosity.
Oh, well, it's been a long journey, hard work. I've grown up learning about plants and nature and being one with it. It's not until you actually start getting out there into the world that you start to realize your purpose. I wasn't always a wildfire druid. It took me a little bit of traveling to realize that that's what the path that was right for me. Even though I grew up with them, we're all free to make our own decisions. And when I became a wildfire druid, we all get tattoos. And this one, the one on her back, is of a moth.
Ah,
Yes.
the elemental from before.
Mm-hmm. Squishy, squishy. Yes. Also, we all believe that there is a phoenix out there that is our guide. Our divine essence comes from that phoenix.
It has a name.
And the name of the phoenix is Beni Azoth? Beni Azoth, is that right? Why have you forgotten?
Because it's not my character, and I've run like 8 games this week.
Okay, so regardless of what the actual name of the phoenix is, would Lotharian have possibly heard of that
Lotharian
name?
can make a history check.
Okay.
Russell,
Yes.
my character will try and find a place for himself to be alone.
Okay. So you.
Because
Yep.
he's fought the Black Guard before. And he knows they're hard bastards to get down, but he's got bad memories from it. Bad memories.
That makes sense.
I watch his Rokan go and leave.
So Rokan slinks off, oddly enough, despite the ale and the food on the table.
Yep.
But Rokan didn't see the insight, didn't get high enough on the insight check to know that Lotharian is a former Black Guard, did he?
That's true, but he does.
It doesn't mean he doesn't.
Okay, no. Okay.
Doesn't. Yeah, he's.
You have suspicions.
Yeah, he has small suspicions.
Fair enough.
Everyone's leaving us.
Well, it is getting late. It is time for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
So we know where everybody is. That's good.
We will have an awkward night after that. But I feel like it's not. But the spirit didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
That's all that matters.
And it is late in and out of game at this point too, because you guys want to get up and do stuff in the game in the morning. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Should we say that's call it a night?
Yeah, I think that
we can start afresh.
Right. So the beginning of next session, you will wake up. Okay. Sounds good. Awesomeness. Well, thank you guys.
Except for Lotharian.
Except for Lotharian. And possibly Elkas, who doesn't have to sleep either.
Why doesn't Elkas have to sleep?
No, Elkas does as a half elf.
Yeah.
Half elves don't trance. We're not cool like that.
No, fair enough. Okay.
Elkas just normally passes out, not sleeps.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Yeah.
On brand. All right. We're gonna raid the dreaded GM tonight.
Oh, one thing before I forget. Lotharian would have written a note for Elkas and just left it next to him in Elvish saying, "If you wish to know more about your weapon, let me know." And that, yeah.
I'll think about how Elgas will respond to that.
All right.
Yeah. It's basically, it's written in a way that's just like, no pressure, but obviously he knows what it is, and if you have questions.
All right. We will cover that in Discord, and we will wrap up at this point. Thank you, everyone. We are off for the week. Well, some of us are. I'll see some of you on Wednesday. Yeah, so have a good night, and I am streaming tomorrow on Dungeon Studios on Facebook, The Game, where I am co-hosting a little talk show about D&D and role-playing games and stuff, so feel free to join us. It would be fun to have you. And yeah, we're going to raid the dreaded GM, who's talking about D&D right now. So here we go.
Amazing.
And we are over, and momentarily we'll be out.
Ta-da! That was so much fun.